Heroes of Greyhawk is a game played by adults and recorded for an adult audience. Sometimes we use adult language and explore adult topics. Consider yourself warned.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name is Dave, your humble dungeon master, and we are going to dive back into our Heroes of Greyhawk campaign. This is the 11th session already, guys. We have been at it for almost 3 months. That's crazy. It feels like we just got started. Yeah, isn't that nuts? Thanks to all of you for hanging out with us. This is a game that's been going on actually for 2 years or more plus. Since the early days of 2020, and we brought our home game to Twitch and live streaming, and here we are. So I'm super excited because I get to play this game with my friends every week, and it's these beautiful people right here that are the ones that make this special. Hey guys, how are you?
Hey.
Oh yeah, look at that crew. You guys are great. So guys, 11th session here in Greyhawk, new characters. They've almost died a couple of times, but doing pretty well overall, right?
Yeah.
We survived.
We're doing all right.
They've completed a few jobs. They're showing
fighters.
their utility in Hommlet. And, I mean, that's
Norb
nothing
has
to
even
scoff
raged.
at. Norb finally raged. Hey, Pixel Lady, thank you so much for the cheering. We appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. When you cheer 100 bits, you get to donate an advantage to a player of your choice or the Dungeon Master. So pick your favorite. Pick your favorite.
Not the Dungeon Master.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be honest. I probably don't need him as much as you guys are going to need him. But nevertheless, we'll get to that in a minute. Hi, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're going to go around the table here, the virtual tabletop, and introduce ourselves. Please tell the folks that are joining us and remind me what we're doing, who you're playing, who you are, what you've got going on. And let's kick it off with Christian, Bleak Season.
Hey, we're playing Yahtzee.
Ooh.
No? It's not Yahtzee night?
Did you see that there is a Wizards of the Coast
Checky.
D&D Yahtzee game now?
No, it doesn't
What?
surprise me.
They're
I think-
merchandising everything. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, Hype Train's close. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
I do have
Thanks,
a D&D Yahtzee
Oh, you have it.
that I do. I have
Nice.
with the little
Oh, look at that.
monsters.
We just found our new
An
stream.
owl
Yeah.
bear and anyway, not a sponsor.
We just
Not
found
a
our
sponsor.
new stream.
Yeah. Christian, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you're playing and all that good stuff.
All right, I'm Bleak Season. I hang out here, do stuff, run some games, play some games, make Dave's life a living hell.
Sometimes.
These things happen. I'm playing Lachlan Felspar, Dwarven Storm Cleric. We just decided that or realized that sort of the mother hen of the group, kind of running after my little chickadees, trying to keep them safe and keep them in order, but they keep making it hard.
Good luck with that.
Keeps life interesting. And yeah, that's what I'm doing.
You can tell he's the new guy to this crew.
Yeah.
He's got a big job ahead of him. Oh my goodness. Christian, you do not make my life a living hell. You've enriched my roleplay experience and my general well-being. So thank you for being here. I do appreciate you joining this crew and being part of this game and all the great stuff you've got going on. I'm going to come back to you in a minute to tell us what we've got going on for the channel. But first, let's get through some more introductions. Let's go over to Andy G3D.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Andy, also known as Andy G3D here on Twitch and on our Discord server. I like to play games, especially on Tuesday night in our Greyhawk game here. And you'll also find me lurking over on our Discord server quite often.
You
But
are
yeah,
a professional lurker.
Excited to be here tonight, and I can't wait to get back into it.
Hell yeah. Thanks for coming back. I've known Andy for 1,000 years, way back in the day. I'm wondering, have you ever run into Andy 2D? And what was that like? Was it awkward?
It was a little boring, kind of flat.
Flat.
A little flat, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, thanks for being here. Let's jump over to Kirk. Mr. America.
What's up? I was just looking through some of my notes. I was keeping track of all my
Studying.
combats. I got 0 kills, 0 maims.
No.
I did headbutt something.
A lot of hugs.
I
That's
gave a giant mushroom some gentle words, and a bunch of kobold things. I gave them what I like to call the raging rest fest.
Mm.
I took a
That's
brief
fun.
nap.
Yeah, almost a dirt nap.
Yeah, it's like when you go to like a pop show and you try and start a mosh pit, and everyone's like, "What is this guy doing?
They just
Why is he
run it away.
flailing like that?" That was me last session. I flailed like wild, and nobody joined me in the mosh pit.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I'm Kirk. I'm playing Norb, Nhyre, the robed scholarly barbarian who, he shows up every day. He puts in his time. An honest 8. He does an honest 8. Maybe 10 or 12. I don't know. He's working hard. He's not very good at his job though.
Well, he's got room to grow. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah,
He's got room to grow.
definitely.
As we all do at second level. So, real quick, Techie Woman's Ghost, thank you very much for the advantages to each of the players. Make sure you guys jot that down. We
Aw.
appreciate you. Hope you're feeling okay. We're thinking of you. This one's for you. All right. Well, thank you, Kirk. Glad you're back. Captain America, at your service. Let's jump over to Ashley, last but not least. Hi, Ash.
Hey everybody, I'm Ashley, Minnesota Muse 99 on Twitter, and I can be found also tomorrow on the same channel for New Varden, our brand new game, which is super cool. But tonight I am playing for you Xanthe, the golden-eyed girl, who is very cheerful and a little bit too honest, and everything is gone to shit. So she's trying to deal with that. Yay!
I love her. Like,
Yo,
her brutal sort of naive honesty. It's so endearing. So it's pretty fun to watch.
Kirk. What the hell, dude?
I
Damn.
have so much hair right now.
You are the.
Spinning a hat all day.
Yeah, let it free.
Is there
Yeah,
any product in
That's
that?
what I would do.
Let it
Is that
breathe.
There's
like
Yeah,
there's no
natural?
product.
It's his
It's
natural
called
sheen.
sweat metal.
Are we all busting out our? Mine's not as exciting as yours, though. I couldn't make it.
No, it's not.
I didn't know it was this gnarly right now.
Is that real?
I grew that.
Christian, brush it forward again for a minute. Brush it all forward. Yes. There you go. Hello, guys.
You got to keep it like that. It's got to
hey,
stay
guys.
like that.
Is it okay if I play Dungeons and Dragons with you today?
Hi, guy.
Please put some tape
Yeah,
in the
bro.
middle.
Looks like you do it, man. Here we
Oh,
go.
boy.
There you go.
Oh, look at this one. Yeah,
What's up,
this is
Surfer Boy from the 80s?
this is the one.
Yeah. Wow.
Tubular,
must be,
brah.
Must be fun to have
Tubular.
hair.
Thank
Andy
you,
and
bro.
I are like, whatever, guys.
Yeah.
Well, you could trust your armpit hair.
I could. I just had it done, actually. So
Get the
I
wax.
haven't had mine done yet, so
Mhm.
I don't want to.
freshly did.
Armpit
all right.
Brazilian.
Enough of that. Come on, let's get serious. This is a serious game. This is
Yeah,
a
this
serious
is not the
group.
Sunday
It's
game.
very
It's not the
serious.
Sunday
This-
game.
Yeah, this is serious now.
We never make jokes in this game.
Guys,
at all.
we have a couple of announcements. First of all, Christian, tell us a little bit about what our programming is coming up.
Well, as Ashley was just reminding us here a moment ago, tomorrow is New Varden, Dungeon Mr. Ty's own game that he's brought to us. That's running for several weeks still, and tomorrow's the next episode. It's a lot of fun, very unique take on the fantasy genre, very interesting. And on Thursday we have the finale of Shadesong season 1. And after that, Sunday we have nothing anymore. And then on Monday, is it okay to talk about it now?
Yeah, do it.
Yes.
All right. On Monday, we have our production team holiday special that I will be running with Dave, Ashley, Andy, and Miko, the entire production team here playing. It'll be a Vaesen game called Yule Sang, and yeah, that'll be on Monday. So come out, hang out with us, celebrate the holidays. After that, we're going to sort of a break, but Greyhawk and Novarden will continue throughout the holidays. So, always plenty of stuff to watch, and come hang out.
Nice. Can't wait for that. That's going to be fun. That's our Monday Night Mayhem game this week. And then we're taking a little break, as you do over the holidays. We'll be back with a couple of different games. I think Shadesong is going to take a hiatus. Coming up with a bunch of season 2 stuff, which is coming up in January, which is exciting. We've got sort of a new format, a new cast, and things are going to happen there. We'll keep the rest for reveals later. We've got some new Monday Night Mayhems in the works for 2023 that I think people are going to really, really dig. And of course, Heroes of Greyhawk will continue on, as well as the New Varden, which continues into mid-late January. So we've got a lot of good programming coming up, and some
tons of stuff.
Some
we
fun
never stop.
little,
We never sleep.
Can't stop.
Like Rust.
Stop.
Yep, like Rust, we never sleep. Like Kirk's hair, we don't quit.
Now you look like a tiefling, like you have tiefling horns.
Yeah,
oh my god, what happened?
Rolling my new character today.
Yeah.
Norm.
See that.
Norm Fire.
Norm.
Nice.
Good to have
The
a backup.
tiefling.
Hey guys, a couple more announcements. We have got a couple of awesome sponsors that have been hanging out with us. One for a long time, that's CZRPG. You can see their logo down in the bottom corner of the screen here. We really appreciate Christian and his team giving us so much support. We would like to pass that back to them. They have a great Patreon, so go check out this link here in the chat for their Patreon. They put out maps and adventures every week. Great people over there, just super supportive. And then you guys, we're sponsored by a candy company. So just FY to the eye, I've even got a logo here for them that I'm going to show you. Honey and Sage Candy Company is now supporting us. They have a deal. If you go check them out, look at their stuff. They have a bunch of cotton candy, lollipops. But use SAG3, and if you buy three cotton candies, you get one free, which is pretty sweet, and it's really tasty. They've got a new menu that's out.
Yield superior flavor.
I asked them to do a Greyhawk gravy, and they're like, "Oof, I don't think we can do that. I think that would ruin our company." That was a bad idea, Dave.
Omelet flavored.
I asked them about that one too. Now they did do a bacon one that's pretty interesting. That I liked, but the caramel popcorn was my favorite. So I highly recommend you check out their stuff. And they have, as I mentioned, a new menu with a bunch of new stuff on it, and it looks really amazing. It's got things like Bad Santa, which is a butter rum cake cotton candy. They've got the Elf Bait, which is a chocolate fudge cotton candy. They've got fun names and just really cool stuff. And now they've got hot cocoa bombs and glitter bomb. What's a glitter bomb?
It's something you put in your bath.
Isn't that? Okay. I thought that was what you put on your front porch
and mail it to your enemies.
Oh,
the glitter goes.
I'm mixing it up with bath salts. No, what's the one that gets you high? Is it
mail it to your enemies?
Who knows, man?
I thought there was the one that you leave on your front step, and then somebody steals it. Then they get glitter bomb.
That is a glitter bomb. Yeah.
Dang.
You can't get high on that.
No.
High on life.
But you would enjoy watching someone who steals your packages get covered with glitter.
And fart. It has a fart spray in it too.
What?
Yeah. It's had like 8 renditions. The newest rendition, it opens, it can't be closed. It sprays fart and glitter and records you.
In Canada, the guy delivers your package, and when you get home, it's sitting there waiting for you, and you take it inside. You don't need booby traps.
Yeah.
They still do that there?
Yeah. No kidding. Sounds so peaceful and
it's America's hat. America's hat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Carmen. Sounds awful.
Dave, your sound is not working on stream.
Well, I just said a
can hear
bunch.
you.
I just said a bunch of really awesome stuff. You're gonna have to come
Yeah, I
back.
know.
You're gonna have to come back next week to find out what I said.
I can hear you
Cliffhanger.
on stream now.
I did mute myself
Oh.
when Kirk started talking about flatulence. I had to mute myself.
Hmm.
No reason.
I would laugh too.
No reason. All right, enough is enough. Thank you for the heads up, Sly Sparrow. Appreciate you doing me a solid. And now, without further ado, my friends, let's get into a recap of some chicanery and charcuterie that went down last week in Greyhawk. In our last session, our ragtag team of adventurers took shelter in an abandoned farmstead as strange barking and hyena-like laughter called from the darkness around them. Hidden inside, the party watches a band of gnolls converge on the farmstead with 2 human captives who pleaded with the gnolls to set them free. Norb cast comprehend languages to discern the gnolls' intent. They spoke of orders given and the failure of the humans to comply, and insisting that the prisoners turn over hidden loot stashed somewhere on the property. The humans, of course, denied their wrongdoing, but eventually they admitted their obstinance. The mouthier of the 2 captives, the bigger one, referring to someone as that beautiful bastard and angering the gnoll leader, a mistake that ended in the man's death by the gnoll's blood-tarnished blade. Meanwhile, a pair of gnolls were sent to investigate the rundown farmhouse, tipped off at the presence of outsiders by a pair of brand spanking new tents that were pitched in the front yard and a dead Catablablas laying near the murky pond. Sometimes you just have to say their names really fast. The party hid, all but Xanthe, who hatched a plan to spook the gnolls by throwing a sheet over her head and imitating a ghost from her childhood storybooks. And by the gods, it worked, with the help of Norb's illusion magic. But for a moment. And then the gnolls moved in, piercing with spears and slashing with swords. Lachlan emerged from his hiding spot to attack. And just as his divine magic obliterated 2 of the gnolls, spraying Xanthe with a bunch of carnage, Lachlan was knocked down, dying on the rotting floorboards. Norb responded by erupting into a rage. Only took you 10 episodes, pal. Veins popping, muscles bulging, anger boiling over. He pounced into the fray, swinging wildly, but missing his target. But he drew the gnolls' attention as they swarmed in around him. Xanthe cast firebolts at her foes. Desmond, next to her, continuing to blast away with his sweet crossbow. Finally, Norb, after a couple of attempts, connected with his battle axe, making contact and slicing one of his assailants in half, only to be overcome by spear and fang, which quickly ended the short-lived rage and dropped him to the floor. The gang continued to fight bravely, clearing the room eventually of the gnolls. Lachlan racing to Norb's lifeless body, using Spare the Dying to save him from death. Combat was over. Xanthe poured a healing potion down Norb's throat and revived him. The party investigated the pond where the gnolls had been pulling something from the murky waters. Desmond recognized the dead bandit, the big one, as a man he'd seen in the woods when they were held up prior to getting to the abandoned farmstead, a man that had been referred to as Mel. Lachlan and Desmond, meanwhile, pulled the trunk from the pond, and Xanthe investigated the gnolls' bodies, finding coin, weapons of variable quality, a small sealed urn, a strange bleached skull, and a small wooden box containing a bone ring. Desmond searched Mel and found more coin and 6 iron spikes. With further investigation, Des found the ever-mysterious eye-engraved stone hidden in the hem of Mel's cloak. The large trunk that you pulled from the bog contained a bottle of fine brandy, well-made knives and short swords, jewelry, coins, and other stolen goods. You gathered what you could carry, throwing what you couldn't back into the bog, weapons that you didn't need or couldn't carry, tossing them in and them disappearing beneath the murky water. You guys set off into the night, hoping to put distance between yourselves and the farmhouse, forcing a march through the night and into the next morning, making it back to Hommlet, exhausted. Norb convinced Lachlan at that point to return to the inn, while Desmond and Xanthe pressed on to the Church of St. Cuthbert to deal with the old farmer's remains. You had made a promise to provide him with a proper Cuthbertine burial. And so you press on to the church. We will return to our story as we shine in upon the inn. You, Norb and Lachlan, as you play with yourselves, your toys, you find yourselves back at the inn, walking in. It is approximately midday-ish. You are, of course, exhausted in the parlance of D&D mechanics. You have 1 level of exhaustion, but you have made it back. The 2 of you now having an opportunity to kind of debrief a little bit about what happened.
I haven't been this exhausted since that time we hauled all those rocks up that hill for nothing, remember?
Wasn't for nothing. They were building something.
No, it was for nothing. They decided to build out of wood while we were hauling the rock.
Oh. I don't.
That's right.
Was I there for that?
Yes, you were the one who convinced them to build it out of wood after we hauled up all the rock.
Oh. Yeah, I'm really smart.
Speaking
I
of,
mean, it's just easier to work with, you know?
I just wish you'd have thought of it before we hauled up all the rock.
Yeah. I mean, it was just good. It was a good warm up.
Speaking of a good warm-up, how you feeling there?
Gosh, not great. I'm gonna be honest.
Did you pull something? Flailing wildly?
I kind of lost my temper back there, and I'm a little embarrassed about it.
Don't know that you need to be embarrassed about it. You certainly helped pull our bacon out of the fire.
I don't remember doing a whole lot. I mean, with bacon, there were some kobolds. I remember. Bacon. Gosh, that sounds really good right now.
Those were gnolls.
Oh, they were gnolls.
Yeah.
I gotta fix my notes.
But don't feel too bad about it. It's normal to lose your temper when things are going down. What matters is just, what you do with it. Now you pick up the pieces afterwards.
You think Xanthe and Des are gonna let me hang out in the party still, or are they gonna kick me out?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think Des doesn't even know, what time it is anymore. He's just so worried about this thing. I mean, I think it looks good. The gray in his hair, I think looks good on him.
Why does he keep talking about retirement accounts?
I don't know. I think Des just,
Yeah. Should have invested.
Yeah. I think he'll be all right. Pretty sure that the Cuthbertians will
help him get a nice plot.
Do you think either of them are Cuthbertians? I mean, Xanthe or Des? Because Cuthbertians tend to not really enjoy non-believers too much.
I hope not. I you know, I have never asked them about their piety, I think is the word.
Neither of them strikes me as, you know, spectacularly pious in any way, shape, or form. I mean,
Right.
you know, they're wonderful people, but a little bit dodgy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, okay, so can you do
Dodgy
me
in
one
a
huge
good way.
favor? I knew what you meant. When we get back in here through these doors up in front of us, you know, can you just, I don't want to talk to Spugnoir right now.
You know, you could just tell him you don't want to talk to him.
But he's sleeping in my room.
Why is oh yeah.
I just let him use my room because I thought we'd be gone longer. But I really want to go to bed.
Well, reach into my bag, pull out my key. Here, use my room.
Yes, thank you.
Get yourself some rest. I'm
I
gonna
will.
go and get myself something to drink and to eat, and sit by the fireplace a little bit and wait to see if Des and Xanthe need anything from me.
I thought you were going to go to the church with them.
Well, I might go in a little bit. I just want to think Des needs to deal with this a little bit on his own, maybe. And I mean, Xanthe's a good friend of his, so, you know.
Yeah. You're
I'll
right.
probably just grab a hot coffee and something to eat, and then, you know, if they're not back, I'll mosey on over and just make sure everything's all right. But, you know, I'm sure they're okay.
Cool. All right.
You get yourself some rest, man, and,
right.
you know, don't worry about it. It's all good. You helped us out there.
I appreciate those kind, lying words.
I never lie.
And I'll stumble through the door and like stumble up to Lachlan's room.
And I will go down to the main area and just get some food and some coffee and wait out a little bit and see if maybe, you know, within an hour or so, if I haven't heard from them, I might go and check up on them. But I'm mostly going to just put my feet up because my feet hurt like a mother effer.
Yeah, you look around the tavern and it's the normal patrons that you've seen before. You don't see Spugnoir. You don't see Elmo, but you do, you know, the rest of the gang is all present. Ostler is busy behind the bar. It seems to be there's a bit of a lunch rush, and you can easily flag down the woman that's have been your server on multiple occasions. Sam, she helps you out and gets you set up with a drink, whatever that might be, and some of the special of the day, which is like a mutton stew, perfect for this nice sort of fall crisp day.
I will dig into it heartily.
And we will then move over to the Xanthe and Desmond as you have barged into the nave of the Church of St. Cuthbert, covered in filth from gnoll guts, some of your own blood, perhaps. I know, Xanthe, you took a spear to the chest at one point. Desmond, I don't know if you got hurt at all during that fight. I can't quite remember.
I'm at like half hit points.
Yeah, you guys had a bit of a coloring of blood and guts. Plus, you traveled all night, pushing yourselves. You two, of course, also are exhausted in the mechanical sense. But you barge in to the nave, and you can hear some humming down through the space, but you can't see anything at first. As you walk in, the big wooden carved doors swinging open. You can hear your footfalls as you hurriedly walk in, and almost immediately, as you turn into the space and start to look for somebody, you see a woman who is dressed in clerical clothing. She has almost vestments on her. She's got a like a nun's hood on her head. These dark robes and a high-colored neckline. She has a symbol around her neck of this sort of like circular bejeweled medallion with sort of like a cross in the middle of it. And she says, no, this will not do. You are filthy. This is a holy place. This will not do. No.
I need a priest. I need a priest right now.
No, you will have to come back when you have cleaned. This is not appropriate. Please.
Sorry, I can do that. And Xanthe will prestidigitation herself head to toe until she's clean, and then turn around and proceed to start cleaning up.
She kind of ushers you towards the door.
It's an emergency.
Your spell casting and kind of like pushing you back. No, this will not do. You must step out. You must re-enter the holy space with reverence and cleanliness, not just upon your body, but upon your soul.
All right.
Please.
Okay. All
right, but this is an emergency. We've had a
there
really
are
bad
many
night.
emergencies. You look terrible.
We better we got to just do the process, I think.
All right.
There's a wash basin around the side here. Melda dear, please come and attend to this. And you see this other woman come out of the side room, and she looks shocked. She looks at you. Oh my. Just one second. She goes and she gets a brush, and she has some towels that she walks out with, some clean towels, and she says, to the basin then. Yes, take them to the basin and clean them. Help them clean. Then we shall speak. She gives you like a stern look.
We almost died.
Very good. We'll speak a bit later.
It's an emergency.
And she just kind of stands there with her arms crossed. Melda's like, please, this is the way. Come. And she leads you to a wash basin, and she provides you. It's a clean basin. Usually people would come here to maybe like wash their hands before they come into the church, maybe wash their feet. But you guys are covered. Well, maybe not Xanthe as much, but Desmond, you're still covered as she's kind of prestidigitating herself and doing her hair all up and everything.
I'll just start furiously washing my face, just like water flying everywhere.
The woman kind of has this ladle, and she dips it in the basin and like pours it over your head as you're like, do you like take your dirty clothes off?
Maybe the items that have more knoll guts on them than others.
Sure. Yep.
One of them got vaporized after all. I imagine we're covered with all sorts of
I believe there was a electrical pulse of divine energy that basically
mist.
pink mist.
A chunky mist.
That was the word. Yeah.
So you spend some time washing, and she gives you a towel. She looks down at your clothes and just kind of what Jonathan,
what did you say?
I'm sorry, I must have mistook you for someone.
No, that's not my name.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. My terrible intrusion. Here, let me get you something. A cloak. And she walks off and goes back into the nave, through the doors back into the main part of the nave, as you and Xanthe continue to kind of clean yourselves up. Currently alone for a moment.
Okay. Have you ever been to one of these churches before?
No. Lulu
I
didn't like to go to these things.
I kind of forgot how strict they are. So we better just
usually
follow
make
the
you
rules.
Bathe your whole body before you go inside.
They got their ideas about cleanliness and following the rules, and
You would think that they would want to help people who are having an emergency.
that's what I was hoping. Yeah. But maybe we're dealing with some more by the book types. I don't know.
Oh.
Des, you know from your time in Verbo City, you've come into contact with some of the clergy, or at least of some of the tenets of the faith, and how it's very much tied to law and order and rules. and maybe not cleanliness being one of them, but you did come in being absolutely filthy, and they were very concerned. You could tell that it was a sincere concern, but you do know that they're kind of sticklers for process here at the Church of St. Cuthbert. But eventually the woman comes back out, and she has like this sort of a very like nondescript gray, like almost like a robe, but it's more of a cloak that she just sort of drapes over you, and you're able to kind of tie it around your waist, and you have, maybe your breeches are still, you still have your pants on. No, it depends. I don't know. It's up to you, but you did disrobe slightly to get some of the knoll bits off of you. And she says, would you like me to do something with the clothing? Do you intend to keep this?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of backups, I guess. I think we can take care of cleaning them later, though.
We'll try to wash all the blood and guts out. But maybe we could buy some more clothes later.
Yeah, probably. All right. You can get rid of it.
Okay, very well. I think you look presentable now, at least. If you'd like to enter. Sister
Right.
Calmer will see you.
I'll scoop up my pile of bones. All right.
Are they just loose? Are the bones just kind of like a loose? Or I think you had them bundled up, didn't you?
It's like a bundle, but I imagine
Okay.
there's like a femur sticking out the side, or
You just kind of like cover it back up.
it's just like got dust and stuff coming off of it. All right. What was his name again?
Sister Calmert.
Sister Calmart. Okay.
Yes. Follow me. And she leads you back into the nave through these this kind of sort of side access door, and you walk your way through what appears to be like the area where the people would sit and listen to the sermons spoken from whoever is giving the sermon, whether that be the sister or perhaps the priest of the day. But so far, you've heard the name Sister Calmert, and she appears to be sitting in prayer as this other woman, Melda. You heard her name as well. She leads you up there, and she just kind of looks. Sister Calmert is not noticing your presence yet. She's sort of looking away, and Melda's like, Sister Calmert sort of like finishes whatever prayer she might be engaged in, and she turns. Now, tell me, what is it so important that you would barge into the house of Cuthbert, so filthy, and with such energy?
Hi, I'm Xanthe, and this is my friend Des. And
Hello.
we were attacked by gnolls, and we had to march all night here because something really bad happened to Des.
I have here the remains of a man, and he really wanted to be buried here. And
Hello, Raiders. Thank you so much, Blue Box RPG. Thank you for the raid.
And well, he's still around. He's not dead. He's like a ghost.
He was really mad.
Yes, you have a ghost problem.
Yeah, and he did something to me.
Xanthe will like Vanna White.
I'm 20 years old. I know I don't look it right now, but that's how old I am. It did this to me. It aged me.
We were like the same age before.
That is troubling.
I'm hoping if maybe we bury his body,
Was he a follower of Cuthbert?
He really wanted it to be done. Yes, I believe he was.
He asked for you. I mean, not you specifically, but Cuthbert.
Where did you find these remains, and how did you come to be so accursed?
It's off the is an abandoned farm off the high road on the way to.
Quite a distance from Hommlet.
We're working for Mr. Byrne.
We're looking for bandits.
Badgers, are you?
We're
In
independent.
training, sort of.
Independent contractors, then.
Well, we
You
are
could say
new.
that. We're working on a name.
Do you have any candidates for this name?
I don't know. I've been thinking about a couple.
Warriors of the Cuthbert, perhaps? Sounds quite nice.
We will definitely add it to the list of potential names. A short list.
That was a very good suggestion.
I imagine you are, of course, followers of St. Cuthbert.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's the only establishment I've ever been to.
Are you guys?
That's not a lie.
Des, give me a deception check. Xanthe's telling the truth, so. Give me a persuasion check, Xanthe.
All right.
Well,
oh boy, I was not prepared with dice. Here we go.
this is Dungeons and
I'll roll with
Dragons after all.
advantage.
15.
Natural
You-
20 for 27.
Oh my god, natural 20? She just kind of looks at you and she kind of nods almost knowingly, as she's wont to do. But she looks over at you, Des, and she sort of... Tell me then, what type of donation are you willing to make then to the church to seek guidance as a follower of St. Cuthbert that you are? Sure you're ready to provide some little donation.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Of course, there will
We'd
be
be happy to.
charges for the funeral services as well. We do have rules around here. This is the Church of St. Cuthbert, after all.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
This dead friend of yours who seeks to be buried in our very nice and prestigious graveyard. The name of your friend?
Oh,
We do keep records of these things, of course.
It was the father of Jeffrey and Samantha.
Well, that certainly narrows it down a bit.
I mean, to be honest, he was a horrible undead ghost, and he sucked 20 years out of my life. I didn't catch his name.
What makes you think we want him here?
Well, he said he would. That is what he would wanted. That is.
He said they would
my.
move on if we
He
buried
would move
him
on. He would
here.
be saved if he was to be buried here.
Well, he's
We-
not wrong.
we
If he
wanna
was
do
indeed
that.
a follower of St. Cuthbert, then he deserves to be buried in Cuthbertine fashion, although I must say it is not cheap. Donation for the services, and then the charges for the burial.
How
All
much
right.
does a burial like that cost?
Well, this is an important friend of yours. I imagine you would want to spare no expense. And of course, the funds would help the church as we expand our services to the countryside and, bequeath our protection of St. Cuthbert upon the land. Much needed in this place. Many of the local townsfolk have joined us in our worship. Much to your relief, I'm sure, as followers of Cuthbert.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Well, we're, I guess, I'm happy to pay for the funeral and to donate, of course. I guess, how much does a funeral cost? I don't have a lot of experience with this.
Well, a funeral can be quite expensive, but if you're looking for just burial services, that could be a bit more within your budget. You look like you are perhaps adventures of some kind. You came in completely dirty, my dear, and you now look wonderful. You, sir, are half naked, wearing one of my robes.
It's been a long day. I'll get it back to you. Sorry. Try not to.
After it's
I'll get it
washing,
washed.
This friend of yours, given their relationship to you and this terrible, terrible affliction that you bear, your grief has aged you, you say?
Well,
not the grief.
the ghost did something to me.
He was super angry, and he went rah, and then
It was
aged 20 years.
the most terrible thing I've ever seen. It was just everything went black. And when I came to, I didn't feel very good.
Answer me this one question then, before we proceed. We are, of course, adherents to the law. You are not, as they say, pillagers of grave sites.
Absolutely not.
No, he was murdered, and his body was underneath a wagon, and it had been there for a really long time.
Yeah, it took us a while to find his body.
Well, we do have some options for you. A donation to the church would be much appreciated as I fetch my papers.
Right.
What would you like to offer as your donation?
I'll give 10 gold.
Very good. I will be back momentarily. Please do not touch anything. Stay right here. And she walks slowly off. You can barely even tell that her feet are moving underneath her gown, her habit, her nun's habit. She makes her way off into a side chamber, and you can hear voices. You can hear hushed voices in that room.
Xanthe, was that too much? Was that not enough? Do you think that was enough?
Well, she
10
didn't.
gold?
She didn't try to, get more money out of us, so I think it was all right.
Oh, shoot. Did I pay too much?
Well,
It's worth it. I don't care.
they were really not willing to help us, so she's helping us now, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
All
have
right.
to fix you.
I hope you think it can be fixed?
I mean,
I hope it can be
this
fixed.
is a real place of worship with clerics that, work in a building, so they must know what they're doing.
Right, and this is what he wanted, right? The ghost.
That's what he asked for.
Did Lachlan ever get his name?
The old man?
Yeah.
I don't think so. We got the name of his children, and then, and Xanthe, will reach her hand into the thing of bones and grab around, and she pulls out the collar.
Oh, yeah.
And we have his dog's collar because he wanted to be buried with it, I think.
Yeah. What does the collar have any kind of identification on it, like a tag or what? What? Could I take a closer look and see what it says?
Tomato.
You're serious? Tomato?
I don't know. Maybe he was a red dog.
All right. Okay, let's just put it back in there. Maybe they won't notice it. Let's just put it back in there.
Dave, you're muted on stream.
I'm muted again. As she walks out, she turns and she kind of shushes back towards the other voice. You had heard voices coming from behind her, and you just hear this voice saying, "He looks so much like Jonathan." And then the woman comes back out and she says, "Very well." So she starts paging through this book that she has, and it looks to be sort of like a hard-covered, leather-bound book with some nice like silk bookmarks in it. And she like pages through. She says, "Well, we do have, if you are of exceptional means, there is of course the grand funeral and burial, where we could have a grand feast, commemorative works of art commissioned, but no, we'll page past that one. Well, there's the sarcophagus option, which is quite no. I can. There is well, internment with a simple coffin in the graveyard. We could have a wake with a modest meal, if you like, to celebrate your friends, the father, you say, of Jeffrey and Samantha, whose name you haven't shared, but nevertheless, a friend of yours, if you would care for that. If you would like to skip the wake and meal, we're looking at about 15 gold pieces. Anything less than that is unbecoming a follower of St. Cuthbert, of course, but we do have a casket in an unmarked grave, just a pine casket, that is around 4 gold pieces. If you want to forego the casket, which would be a horrible thing to do to a friend, well, we'll forget about that piece.
Right.
Well, we definitely want him in the cemetery, and we want, the service over the body so that he knows that he got buried.
Oh, yes,
I'll
of
get him a
course.
casket. I'll get him a casket.
I don't think any of the family is coming, so it's just us. It's very small. It can be short. We've already said our goodbyes,
Understand.
We'll get him a nice, simple casket, and then just like a short service. I think he'd like that.
Okay. That will be in the meal as well.
I don't. Is a meal something that people usually have?
Yes, meal. Some storytelling. You might be want to tell a story of your relationship, reminisce a bit about some memories you shared, that sort of thing.
Not a lot of memories so much. I think if it is all right, I think we could skip the meal.
Well then, I could set this up. When are you looking to have this done? You have the remains with you then? And she looks at the bundle you're carrying. Oh my, okay.
As soon as possible.
Right, it's not appropriate for us to be carrying around a bundle of someone's bones.
Well, Canon Terhon, who typically does these types of ceremonies, is quite busy today. But okay. Well, perhaps if you're in a bit of a hurry, I could say some words over the body. We could have this done this afternoon.
That'd be great.
That would be wonderful. Oh, excuse me. I did have a question. Who's Jonathan? I heard you say there's someone was saying Jonathan, and they look so much like Des. Des actually used to live very close to here. And his family did too.
It was a long time ago.
What is the last name of the family?
Adelar.
Does not ring a bell. I think the housemaid Melda mistook you for someone else, perhaps.
Maybe they're a relative, though. Like maybe an uncle or a cousin.
Perhaps. Well, oof. The
we should
remains
really
that you carry should be placed somewhere.
It's not right. I shouldn't just be carrying them around like this. I really think we should just get on with the burial.
Yes,
No,
yes.
that is true. That's more important.
Please stay here. I will fetch our gravesman, and he will procure for you a box. Doesn't look like it needs to be very big, which is good. And we'll be back. Don't touch anything or go anywhere. You know the routine.
Right.
We'll be right here sitting on our hands.
So if I just rest, I'll just sit over here.
Yes, sit in that chair right there would be perfect for you.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so tired.
She hurries away as the two of you sit there. Eventually, this old kind of gruff man comes in, and he's like, "Come with me." And he walks out to sort of like a tool shed area and like a workshop where he is at work, putting the finishing touches on some coffin lids, probably the main parts of the coffin that he has built down in town. We're sort of up on the hill overlooking, I almost said Hommlet. And he kind of gestures for you to lay the remains in the coffin, and you do so, and you sort of have this awkward moment, and he doesn't really ask you guys any questions. He's very sort of not interested in what you're doing, but he helps you out. Eventually you place the bones in, it gets covered up. With
the dog collar.
You put the dog collar in.
Dog collar's in there.
Yep, Tomato's collar is in there, and you talk to Sister Calmerde again, and she bids you come back later in the afternoon, and you have the opportunity to leave. I imagine you guys take your leave of the church at that point, and head back down into town to meet up perhaps at the inn with the rest of your party. Norb's sleeping, but was there anything else you wanted to ask anybody at the church before you left? I guess I should ask you that.
Dave, the service would be later that day?
Yeah, in the afternoon. Okay. Yep, later in the evening-ish. Yep.
No, I can't think of anything, I guess.
Okay. So you guys meet back up with Lachlan at the inn, and he's kind of finishing his stew. You have an opportunity to sort of discuss anything that you want.
Oh man, religious people are so weird.
Oh, they got so many rules.
Does Des
walk in and flop down at the table.
Does Des look any younger?
No.
What do I look like?
He looks.
Anybody have a mirror?
He looks cleaner.
Don't have a mirror.
So how did you find the Cutworthines?
Well, first they yelled at us for being dirty.
I've always thought they've been so stuffy.
Then they made us wash outside. And then they were kind of snotty. and then they asked us for a lot of gold.
I made a pretty significant donation to the church.
I mean, that's what all religious people are like, right? I mean,
really depends on. It's a lot like, there's different ways to make, and I pointed the remains of my dinner. There are certainly different ways to make leg of mutton. At the end of the day, it'll taste different depending on how you prepare and the spices you put in. Religions are sort of like that, where they appear at first glance to be very similar, but there are certainly little variations that make some a little bit more tender, some a little bit more sweet, some a little bit more piquant. The Cutworthines are just a little bit more. Well, when your holiest of items is a cudgel, it sort of tells you a little bit what type of people they are.
Heavy-handed.
But how did it go?
I think it went well. They didn't throw us out.
We're supposed to come back later for the funeral. They wanted to have a meal and a singer or something. We didn't want that to be very awkward, I don't know this person.
But So they want you to pay for all that for the funeral for the farmer?
Yeah. Did you, when you were talking to him, did you catch his name? They kept asking what his name was, and we don't know.
I don't recall unless the god that is the DM tells me that I knew at some point, and my character remembers, but I don't think I did.
I don't think you guys asked him what his name was.
No.
I wonder
And did
if,
they speak to your condition? Will
Say
Put
that
in
one
the
more time, Bleak. You cut out a little bit.
putting the farmer to rest help with your condition? Did they say anything concerning that?
she didn't. I explained to her what happened, but it didn't come up.
Okay.
Didn't say it wouldn't do anything.
I'm just hoping that it'll make him happy, the ghost, and then it'll just go away.
Well, it should. It was
Come
his
back.
his last wish, so to speak. What's the next step now? What are we missing to get this done? I think
This
the faster.
afternoon. This afternoon, the service. We got to go to the service this afternoon.
They said somebody who usually
This
does
evening.
it wasn't there at the moment. So
Perhaps
we
it
had
was
to
the
wait.
old man I met a few nights ago.
That Mr. Trub that you said we should go see. We didn't see him.
Okay. Well, we'll go this afternoon. Before you head up to rest, can I ask the two of you a question? Earlier, Norb was a little worried that, having seen his outburst over at the farm, the two of you might feel uncomfortable continuing working with him. I assured him it wouldn't be so, but would it be?
No, I thought he was real helpful. You know?
No, he was fighting.
Well,
was a
perhaps
battle.
once he wakes up and you see him again, if you could just give him a little word of encouragement. He seems to have taken his experience a little bit to heart.
I tried to tell him it was a good thing and he should, embrace it. And maybe, train so that it doesn't happen when he doesn't want it to. But, he was really kind of sad about it.
Well, as an intellectual and an academic, Norb is very fragile. His ego, very fragile. His mental capacity hangs on the balance, on the knife's edge at all times. There's so much going on in that skull of his that it's like when you spin a coin. At first it spins real well, but then as it slows down, it starts to wobble. There's so much going on in there. So you have to be a little gentle with these folk. They're fragile.
Oh. Well, I'll try to be sensitive.
I'm sure you will. You are certainly the most sensitive of us. How are you two feeling? I mean, Des, I know you're a little bit under stress.
This is
I'm-
just like dazed. I'm a little tired.
I'm exhausted.
I think I'm just gonna go up to my room and sleep for a bit.
Very well.
Will they bring food up there?
You can go to your room. I'll ask the Samantha or Sam, our favorite waitress, to bring you up something as soon as she has a bit of a free moment.
I could really
Just
use a rest myself.
Just something simple like a stew or something.
Very well. I'll take care of it. Go and get some rest, and we'll reconvene this afternoon and head out to the cemetery for the ceremony.
Xanthe would like to walk over to the bartender or waitstaff or whatever and say, can we get like a wake up call? We have a funeral to go to this afternoon, but we are very tired right now.
Yeah, you see Ostler behind the bar. He's like, sure, we can do that. Try to remember anyhow.
She'll push a silver
over on the counter.
That'll help.
We don't want to miss it. It would be very sad.
Who died?
A friend of, well, of the father of one of our friends, Jeffrey and Samantha. Their father died.
Jeffrey and Samantha. Well, tell Jeffrey and Samantha I'm sorry to hear it.
Well, they're
It's
out
damn
of
shame.
town, unfortunately.
Oh, well, that'll be a shocker when they come back.
Yeah.
I think they're expecting to come back.
Desmond, you are looking around as you're getting ready to go. You're going to go to sleep, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna run up to my room and just immediately find this like little shaving, like a little, polished metal mirror that was over my shaving, like a little sink that I have in my room.
Little basin,
and,
little water
yeah,
bowl.
little basin.
Yeah.
That's the word I was looking for. And I'm just gonna be looking at. Des is just gonna be looking at his face, just like.
Your skin is not as youthful as you recall seeing. You definitely see the sort of that shock of white gray, partially from like aging 20 years, but also partially from the fear. If you recall, like you had that intense fear reaction, and it caused you to have that almost a white line in your hair. But yeah, you've got like gray around the temple. You've got the little crow's feet lines that are pretty prominent, and lines above your brow as if you were scowling for 20 years.
Damn it.
You kind of look at your teeth. Your teeth are a little bit more like yellowish, stained yellow a little bit.
Oh God, I look just like him.
Anybody down in the tavern, which I think is just Lachlan at this point, right? Lachlan, are you still down there? You see Spugnoir come in from outside, coming into the tavern, and he kind of looks at you and kind of waves in his awkward way as he goes to the bar. And he orders some food and comes back and sits down, and you can see he's going through his book at one of the tables.
Everything okay, Spug?
Oh, hey, hello. Everything's fine. I'm just continuing to think about where to search for my missing spell book. I have had no luck, and well, none of the local militia will take me on any adventures outside of the city or the town. And I hate to go on my own. I just get into trouble. It scares me a bit. But yes,
rest assured, we're keeping an eye out for it. If ever we come across it, we'll make sure to bring it to you forthwith.
Thank you. It's leather bound with a embroidered S on the cover. It's very distinct. Is Norb around? Is he still?
Does that S stand for hope?
No, it stands for Spugnoir.
No. Norb is asleep, but not in his room. He was afraid of kicking you out, so he's resting in another room for now. So
it's good to see you back. I will clean out my my stuff, and I will move back into the dormitory room. I still have a bit of coin left for Osler. He is a little bit more demanding in my payment. I don't have any credits, but I'm hoping to.
I'll reach into my thing and I'll pull out a couple.
You've done so much.
Please,
I
could not stand it if the man that my friend Norb considers his most favorite person in the village.
Is that true?
He does. And I could not stand it if I were to leave you homeless when I can help you so easily.
I'm hardly homeless. I mean, I could stay in the dorms. I just only have maybe one more night before I'm broke again. I'm not much of a card player, and no one will hire me for it. Is there anything that I can do for you, or is there something I could maybe do for Norb?
There's something you could do for me, actually, if you don't mind. There is, and I'll pull out the map, and I'll point where the farm is. Now, under no circumstance are you to go to this farm. However, I'm be very curious to find out the name of the person who owned this farm. If you could ask around the village today while we rest and find this information, I would double what I'm paying you now.
Oh, right here, where this X is on the map.
Right there, but don't go there because it's full of gnolls right now.
No, that seems far from Hommlet.
It is. It's quite a hike, trust me, especially with short legs.
Gnolls, you say? My goodness.
And other dastardly creatures. There was a couple of Phalophagus, and it almost ate Norb.
Sounds terrible. Is he okay?
He is. Xanthe managed to save him. She was very heroic.
Bravo, she is.
And
yes.
managed to save him in extremis. He'll be okay. I'm sure, what was eaten will regrow in a few days.
Well,
so
I'm
here.
glad to hear everybody's okay.
2 coins for now.
Oh.
I'll quickly copy the map, sort of just the main thing. Keep this with you. Ask around town the name of the old farmer who lived there. We know that his children or grandchildren were named Samantha and
Jeffrey.
Chris is blanking. Jeffrey. If you find out the name
Samantha and Jeffrey
of who owns this farm by this afternoon, I'll give you another 2 coin.
Oh, and what kind of coins are you giving him?
I give him 2 gold.
Okay. Well, that is quite generous, and consider it my duty to find this out. Yes, I have a job. Yes, I do. I'm gainfully employed again.
Gainfully employed.
Thank
Excellent.
you so much. Seriously.
My pleasure, Spugnoir.
It's difficult to not be employed. And if you intend to head back out with a capable crew of people that could provide protection, I'd be happy to join you and help with research services along the way. Just keep it in mind. I need to find that spell book, and it's not going to find itself.
No, that's true. These things tend to, once they disappear, they end up becoming the subject of epic quests that people have to undertake to dangerous places to defeat even more dangerous monsters to recover them.
It's just a little spell book. I highly doubt it involves any
you never know how these stories start, Leo. Big things have small beginnings.
That is well said.
I'm sure it was Norb who said that. He's the most well-read and educated man I know.
And he's very fond of you. Very skilled wordsmith.
Indeed. So I'll be turning in myself for some rest as I was running all night. But if you could see to this business.
Yes, right away. Thank you so much. And he kind of turns on his heel and he flips one of the gold coins up in the air, catches it, puts it in his pocket, and he hurries out the door. Which leaves you now to your devices as the day draws on. We can sort of, unless there's something that you want to do.
I need to get some rest so I can get my stuff back. So now that Spugnoir is gone, I'm going to go and bunk out in Norb's room.
All right, so you've got like 2 or 3 hours before you are roused by Ostler. So you could do a short rest if you want. You can, anything that's short rest related, you would have recharged, as it were, in D&D. If you want to use any of your hit dice, you can do that as well to regain some of your capacity.
Because I'm.
Yeah, Des is taking a short rest.
All right, so let's do this. Christian, since you are the one that gave Spugnoir his mission, please roll for me let's do an investigation check for old Spug. Let me bring up his character sheet. Give me a D20 roll, please.
Just
and Kirk, give me an additional D20, please.
A D20, you said?
Yes, sir.
A 14?
I got a 10.
Okay, very good. So you rest, you sleep, you regain back a little bit of your vitality. You still have the level of exhaustion. You're still super tired as you wake up. It helped, but it didn't fully rejuvenate you by any stretch of the imagination. But you do see as you bring yourselves down to the tavern space that Spugnoir is there with a big smile on his face. And he sees you come in, and he gets very excited when he sees you. Very excited when he sees both Lachlan and Norb, and the rest of you, of course. But yes, hello. I've got some information for you. Oh, Norb, good to see you.
How is it going?
It's good. It's good.
Did you find anything about the little rock thing that I gave you a few days ago?
I asked a bit, and it seems as though there's some talk about this rock.
Before you talk, let's talk about this after we eat. And I'll wave down the bar lady and be like, food, all of us.
Okay. You're able to flag her down. The food comes. Spugnoir is kind of uncomfortable with all the excitement, but he goes over to Lachlan, and he relays to you, Lachlan, that he did indeed go and speak with some of the town elders, showed them the location on the map with the information of the names associated with the family and the general location. They believe that this homesteader was named Nathaniel Blankenship. But he has not been seen in Hommlet for probably 4 or 5 years.
You did very good, Spugnoir, as promised, and I'll give him 2 more gold coin.
Thank you so much. Oh, this is good. This is good. I might be able to get my own room.
You're not going to gamble all of it away, are you?
No, I'm not a gambling man.
Are you sure?
I need it to get supplies, so that I can get on with finding my spell book.
Can I inside him?
Yeah, sure. I need to find someone to accompany me on the search, because if I go alone, I may not come back. Yes, so that's what I intend to do. I'm not going to gamble, although it is a bit of a gamble. Any adventure, I suppose. What'd you roll?
I got a 16 on my insight.
He looks super nervous.
I get the sense that he's lying to me about that gambling, or that's what you're going to tell me, that you look super nervous.
He looks nervous. You don't get the sense that he's a gambler. I mean, you don't even need to roll for that, but because you did, yeah, he doesn't seem like he's got the sort of that gambler mentality, if you will. But he does seem nervous as he's talking about this sort of adventuring thing and trying to get out and get geared up and try to find somebody. He's been you get the sense from the earlier conversation he's been having trouble finding people that will either hire him to a company or for him to sort of like blend into a group that's going out. Maybe in adventuring groups he's tried to jump in with before, but certainly with the some of the militia folks that you've had some conversations and done some work for. Kenter Nevitz guys. So what do you have planned for the afternoon then?
We're going to go to the Cutbirthing Church to see to the burial of a friend. If you do head out there, Spug, make sure you go with friends. It's very dangerous out there these days, and going out alone is not advised. I myself went out and found myself some very capable friends so that I could be safe on my travels. I would certainly suggest you do the same if you intend to go out there.
That is very good advice. I'm so sorry. And he turns to Xanthe and Desmond and Norb. I'm so sorry to hear of your friends passing. I wish there was something I could do. Is there a service being held then this afternoon?
It's very short. It's not even going to be a meal or anything. Just just saying a few nice words.
I didn't actually even
please
know him.
stay dead. Don't haunt anyone. That kind of thing.
That's
We really
oddly
didn't.
specific. The haunting bit.
Hey,
Well, I don't know if you noticed, but have you met our retired friend Desmond?
very funny.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did not recognize you.
Yeah. He looks
You're
Dead already.
You're familiar
old.
with magic, right? Could you?
I mean,
Can I
yes, of
ask you
course.
something?
Yes, of course. If I can answer, I certainly will.
All right, so we encountered this ghost.
A ghost?
Yeah. Real nasty bugger. His name was Nathaniel, apparently. And he did this thing to me where he got really, really terrifying. And he aged me. Have you ever heard anything like that happening before?
I'm afraid I haven't, but the magics of the supernatural realm are hard to explain and oftentimes not well understood. I could perhaps do a bit of research. There are things that I've known of to the effect of curses and that sort of thing.
Cursed.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you're cursed, but you look like you're cursed.
No,
Well,
I'm
if he
cursed.
was
Cursed, I know it.
Do you know how to reverse a curse?
Well, we're hoping that if we bury this fella, it'll, reverse what he did to me.
I'm sure. Yes,
'Cause
of course.
It's what he wanted. We're
That
hoping
makes
he'll
perfect
move on
sense. Leave you be. Bring back
Yeah.
your youth.
Mhm.
Well, you all look very, very good. I mean, it's not as if you are hideous to look at.
No, I'm supposed to be 20. Do I look 20?
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
But I am again sorry for your friend's death. If there's anything I can do, let me know. I'm looking for things to do. And if you have an opportunity on your next adventure for a spellcaster, I would be happy to join you. Norb, it'd be great to spend more time with you.
I think we could use a spellcaster. I'll look. Yeah, we could use extra help, right?
I mean, maybe. I do cast, well, I shoot spells, but I don't know if I'm really casting them.
Right. So,
Interesting.
and I'll look back at Spugnoir. So, and I hate to do this. So whenever we take someone new in, we have to do like a trial run, so we don't pay at first.
Oh, I mean, understood.
It'd be like
Rules
a
are rules.
test.
Oh, of course. I mean,
Yep, it's very official. So, but I
I-
mean, we'll let you know.
Right. If you're a full member, then we split
Yep.
evenly.
Then it's an
Thanks.
even split at that point. But we got to do a test run. We got to see what kind of capabilities you have,
of course.
and then on top of that, we
Yes.
really need more information on the little rock.
Oh, yes, the rock. So, as I was going to say, there's been some talk about the rock, and it seems as though Kenton Nevitz has been very interested. I had heard around town from some of his fellows that they are now on the lookout for people carrying those rocks. So, I would be careful if you're carrying the rocks. It seems as though perhaps it is some sort of a signaling tool for a conspiracy.
Oh,
I think he's actually looking for those because we told him to look for those.
yeah, we told him.
but-
Yeah, we tipped him off about that one.
So it shouldn't be a shock that we're also looking. But, good to know that he's actually, trying to do something about that.
Well, if there's
Yeah.
a
Balls
conspiracy
rolling.
afoot, then it behooves Kenta and the local militia to do something about it. I hope it doesn't come back to haunt us. Sorry.
Oh, that's a poor choice of words.
I knew it
I
before
thought
I,
it was
said
hilarious.
it. Oh, thank you, Norb. Oh, you're pleasant.
Right on the mark. Right on the mark.
Well, Very
Do you
well.
know of any assisted living communities in the vicinity?
All right, Norb, we get it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I
'cause he's
shaved.
gross.
Don't I look? I look better, right?
Kind of crotchety now.
He's gotten grumpy.
No, you can hardly tell.
I'm not ready to
No.
joke about it right now.
I wasn't trying to be funny. I was trying to help you out.
It's a
Yeah,
bit
when
early.
you shave,
Too
like the
soon.
white hairs get shaved off. So yes, you look a little younger.
Right. But I mean, this isn't something we should dilly-dally on
Yeah,
because time's running out.
I agree.
We
I
should
need this.
probably head over
I would
there.
like this removed as soon
You're
as
gonna miss
possible.
the service. You're
Just
at the
let's
bar.
go.
It's classic scenario where you're at a funeral, God rest in peace and all that, and you go to the bar beforehand and you're like to have a couple of drinks and you're like, we gotta go.
Yeah.
So you guys pick up your goods and you skedaddle your way back up to the Church of St. Cuthbert. As you enter, there is some singing happening. You walk into the nave and into the approach to the sanctuary. You can see that there's a circular chamber that's screened by a drape of deep green velvet. Inside you finally see the statue of a smiling St. Cuthbert, this big kind of flopping mustache, flowing hair, a great cudgel held high in his right hand, and in his left hand, he's sort of like gesturing, beckoning for you to approach. Just a very beautiful statue. Everything looks really new and clean. There are ferns and plants growing behind the statue. On either side, there are these really cool stump podiums where you imagine people orate from, spout their sermons. The altar itself looks to be carved from a big piece of bronze wood with billets, starbursts, and the sacred sight of the crumpled hat, which is oftentimes depicted at these places. The walls are wainscoted and carved with panels showing different marvels performed by St. Cuthbert. It's just a very ornate, beautiful space. It looks like a lot of money went into it to build this particular church. And you see that there is Melda, who was the housemaid woman. She is now in a different. She has a different robe on. She's singing, and she has one of these. What are they called? Like a censer or a thurible. It's like burns incense in it, and it's on a chain, and she's sort of like swinging it as the incense kind of wafts into the air, and it's got sort of this pungent, almost spicy smell to it. It's very, it's kind of a surreal moment, especially if none of you have been in at a church service. But what you don't really realize is that it's like this very abbreviated like service. And Sister Calmer gets up and she says a few words of sort of thanks and implores St. Cuthbert to help this individual. And she kind of looks over and she says, the name of the deceased.
Nathaniel Blankenship.
Yes. She enters that name into sort of the speech that she gives, and she asks that he be accepted into the Basilica of St. Cuthbert, et cetera, yada, yada, yada. And you guys are all kind of feeling pretty good about it. And then at that point, she rises up. And you all walk out, and there's that gruff fellow and two other men who are carrying the wooden casket outside now to this very large cemetery. There are a couple of larger mausoleums, and there are for kind of a newer place. There's a lot of headstones, and a lot of the headstones they have sort of the dates of the person's life. Right. And so a lot of the death dates are right about 569 common year. And you get the sense, Des, that probably the lion's share of the folks that are buried here fought perhaps in the Battle of Emerity Meadows or had some level of involvement with the putting down the Temple of Elemental Evil when it was rising to its height 10-ish years ago. But yeah, you go through the service. Did you guys put the collar in the casket? I think you did, right? Okay. So the service continues. The casket is dropped into the ground. They bid you come forward to sort of lay the first bit of earth on top of the casket. Desmond.
I'll go up and shovel a little bit of dirt on there.
And then Sister Calmer looks at you and says, "And if you would like to share a memory, a sacred memory with your friend, the deceased, this would be the time." And she kind of steps back, and all of the people who are there, which is you guys, and then like the people who dug the hole, and Melda with the thurible, she's still got that, and it's kind of smoking with that pungent incense, and everybody now looks at you, Des.
Oh, all right. We lay to rest our brother, Nathaniel. He was a hardworking man. He loved his children, Samantha and Jeffrey. And, I think this is what he would have wanted. So I hope he's in a better place and is able to move on.
Very well. They all kind of nod, and Sister Calmer comes up and says, "Very, very nicely done. Very good.
All right,
would anyone
all right.
else like to say a few words?" Oh, yes, come forward.
Yep. Nathaniel. We didn't know each other for very long. Gosh, we had some good times though, didn't we? Oh man, those knolls on your farmhouse. That wagon. Gosh, you really loved that wagon. Well, good luck.
Everybody seems kind of pleased. They all sort of nod.
Then I'll use my mold earth and I'll just dump a bunch of dirt onto it.
Oh my. She nods. Yes, step forward, please. Very good.
I'll stand up and go next to the thing. Nathaniel liked to keep a clean house, very spotless. He was devoted to the notion that cleanliness is next to holiness, and he certainly, in life and perhaps even sometime after, was devoted to maintaining the most sanitary and pleasant living environment that he could, and I think that would make St. Cuthbert very happy. And I wish him Godspeed on his journey to his new home. No, throw a handful of dirt.
He does sound like a pious Cuthbertine. Very nice. Anyone else care to say? Oh, yes, dear.
She like leans over the grave and goes, "Hi, Nathaniel. It's Xanthe again. So we buried you in this very nice place because this is what you wanted, and we want you to feel at ease, and we hope that you will let Des have his life back, because he's really, really upset about it, and it's not really a good thing. So I think it would make you look better with the man upstairs if you uncursed him, before, or as you moved on. We would really appreciate it. Thank you."
Sister Calmer looks extremely confused. "Curse, what is this about? Thank you, dear. Thank you." She kind of ushers you off of the in the spotlight. She's like, "Okay, you're done." Very good. Then we lay Brother Nathaniel to rest. May you accept him into your grace, St. Cuthbert. You badass. Amen. And with that,
Amen.
they kind of people come up and kind of condolences. "Oh, I'm so sorry." Melda comes up. Some of the dirty workmen come up and, "Oh, sorry to hear about your friend." "Yeah, okay." And then they, as if they kind of had to do it. And then they all wander off. And the four of you are left standing there as one of the guys just kind of is shoveling stuff in, and you've made your payment. So mark off the gold we can settle that. We're going to take a quick break here and then come back. We have laid our brother Nathaniel to rest. You guys all did a very nice job saying some very nice words about this guy. And it was clutch that you were able to lean on Spug to go get some information about the name. That was huge. So kudos on you guys. I would like to grant you guys a team inspiration. So keep in track that you have one team inspiration that you can use on, and we'll talk a little bit about what that means. But all right, so we have closed perhaps a bit of that chapter on Nathaniel. Whether or not it has the desired effect, we shall quickly find out when we return after we take a break. Big shout out to everybody who's been hanging out in the chat with us. God, it's so fun to see you guys goofing around, and I want to jump in there, but then I forget that I'm muted and all that kind of stuff falls apart. So, but I'm really glad to see all of you in there. So thank you for that. Thanks for giving me a heads up when I'm muted. You know what we need is we need an emote that says you're muted. Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to get one of those. That's next on the list. All right, you guys, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in about 5 minutes as we refill our drinks. Thank you so much. We will see you shortly. That's right. We're about to find out. Everything shall be revealed, Ashley, including our beautiful faces. Hello, everybody. We are back. It is Heroes of Greyhawk. And you're looking at the heroes right here. I'm surrounded by these wonderful, wonderful people. We are getting back into this game. Tonight so far, we have returned to Hommlet. We have had some conversations about the near-death experience that the gang had in the abandoned farmstead, fighting off gnolls, some of the trials and tribulations of that combat. You sent old Spugnoir off on a mission to gather some details about the deceased individual who is currently haunting Desmond to some extent, although you were able then to make a deal with the clergy, Sister Calmer from the Church of St. Cuthbert, to have your friend, who you discovered was Nathaniel Blankenship, buried. You gave wonderful speeches, eulogies, if you will, during the burial ceremony, and we find ourselves now trying to seek out what the results of that might be. What we're going to do here is we're going to have a bit of a downtime opportunity for our players as they take a rest after this long, arduous adventure where some of them nearly lost their lives, kind of taking stock of what happened. So we have a couple of days now. You have garnered enough wealth in your adventures to be able to pay for your rooms. So we'll settle that up, but you have four days essentially where you can work on things, whatever it is you might want to do in town as you sort of gather your strength back for whatever the next phase of your adventure might be. We'll start first with Desmond. Desmond, there's a moment as you get back, sort of before we get into it, as you get back from the ceremony that evening and your friends maybe go down to the bar to have, you know, a mug of ale or some hot tea or something, and you sort of race back up to your room and you go to your shaving, your daub kit and your basin. You've got a little kind of maybe a little broken mirror shard that you look in, and you look at your face, and you can still see as you look in the gray hairs on the side and the shock of gray, and the midlife Desmond staring you back in the mirror. It doesn't appear as though there has been an immediate fix to whatever the situation is with you, whether it's a curse. Now that sort of seed has been planted in your head by Spugnoir, who just kind of mentioned it offhandedly. So you kind of think about that a little bit. But nothing has changed appreciably.
All right.
So over the course of these 4 days, we'll kind of go around the table and get an idea of what folks want to do. We're going to start with Lachlan. So Lachlan, what kind of things would you want to do during your downtime over the course of these 4 days? Let's just start with one of the things that you want to accomplish first. This time you're muted.
I think I would like
Yay,
to
it wasn't me.
unmute myself.
It wasn't me this time.
That's a fun game.
I think the first thing I would like to do is having, as you said, just sort of undergone a near-death experience, needing to sort of resource myself a little bit. I would probably head out to the blacksmith shop where there was a dwarf, I believe, that worked iron there. And my father was a blacksmith, and I do have some blacksmithing training and skills. And I think perhaps just as a sort of form of Zen exercise, I would go and see if he needs any help with anything. He was just making horseshoes or whatever, just a little bit throughout the day, like spend a day there if he'll have me working and just, you know, kind of getting lost in the job and, you know, remembering the smells and the of the place and the heat of that furnace and the pounding of the hammer, to just sort of refocus myself almost as a form of prayer, perhaps, or as a form of, you know, just remembering my father and all that. And obviously I'm not going to charge him any money that we make, because of me, he's welcome to keep, but I'd probably like spend a day doing that.
Okay, yeah, you go over to the Black Hammer smithy. You can hear it before you get there, the clang of metal on metal. You see a dwarven man vigorously pounding away at a piece of red hot iron in an open workshop attached to the main building, which is likely part shop and part home. He's got this braided beard and a leather smock on, and he kind of looks up and nods as you come in. And he doesn't really stop for a while. It seems like he's going to finish this piece or whatever he's determined to do, as likely you would as well. Not stopping in the middle of a flame, making sure to use it. Yeah. But he afterwards he introduces himself as Hagen Blackhammer. And he has there's another individual, a female dwarf named Helga, his presumably his wife, or at least partners, and he listens to what you have to say of your interest. He asks you about your experience. You know, obviously he's interested in your experience, and he's probably a little curious why you would want to donate time. He doesn't quite understand that. So how do you explain that to him? You say you want to work for free. That seems odd.
Well, it's not so much working for free. In effect, you'd be doing me a favor. I want to shake off the rust a little bit. You know, I like to try and keep Smith fit, you know, and really I've been feeling, it's been a while since I've been in a smithy shop, and it's been a while since I've been among my people and I'm among my family, and it would really be doing me a favor to sort of just help me reconnect with that a little bit. And everyone here in the village has been so kind to us that, you know, if I can help give back a little bit in some way, I would certainly appreciate it if you could do me a favor, and I'll show him my smith's hammer, you know. As you can see, I've done a bit of work before. You can put me doing anything. I'll stoke the bellows if that's what you need.
Man, Feldspar, where's your family from then, Feldspar?
Originally from the hills. We moved further south when I was quite young, but my father always kept a smithy shop open, and that's how he put food on the table for my family. And I worked smithy on ships and for my father for some time, and I like to go back to that once in a while, just get my hands dirty and feel that heat of that forge and that feeling of that steel just bending under my will. It just feels good.
Roll a persuasion check.
It's not excellent. Hold on, what's my persuasion? It's still 13.
All right. He hears you out and says, "Well, we do need a bit of help around here. Just kind of helping with some of the other odd jobs. We got some shoes that need to be reworked for the horses, and we've got some other menial stuff if you want to start there."
Be a pleasure. And I take off my armor and my kit and put that away, and whatever he needs, I'll get to work on it.
All right, so he's got some, horseshoes that need to be finished. He's got, just some real menial tasks, some tools, maybe some blades that need some early sort of like forming. But give me you have Smith's tools, I assume.
Yeah.
Give me a Smith's tools roll, and then add your. I would say we'll definitely add your proficiency bonus to this D20, and then up to you. It could be strength or dexterity, depending on kind of what your style is for this particular task.
Okay. I'm not super dexterous, so it'd probably be more of a strength thing.
Could be intelligence if you want, like whatever. You tell me what flavor you're going for.
Okay, well, I'll cut. Yeah, so let me tell you. I'll do. I'll cut the difference between the two, my dexterity and the strength. I'll do wisdom, and just sort of like, the experience that I have in doing this, applying it to this, and, making sure that I don't mess up anything, and so on and so forth. Does that sound good for you?
Yeah, that sounds good. Let me ask you one quick question before you roll. Are you working the steel or the iron? Are you working it in your sort of style, or are you trying to emulate what you see around you in terms of his style?
Yeah, I would definitely try to emulate his style.
All right, cool. Yeah, give me a roll.
Ooh, that's 14, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, he's pretty impressed, and you can tell as he's kind of working on the forge sort of next to you off to the side, as you're sort of on a smaller spot, and he kind of stops. You can hear the clanging for a while, and then the clanging stops, and you can see him kind of taking note. And throughout the course of, I don't know if you work with him for the 4 days that you have, but
I don't know if I do the 4 days, but I would certainly do 1 day and then see, what the feeling.
He starts to give you a little bit more aggressive jobs to help him with, and you start to feel pretty good. He doesn't really talk much. He's pretty quiet and gruff, which you actually probably like. It gives you a chance to sort of dig deep into that, work those smithy muscles, as you said. But Brother Smith, you hear some people come in and collect things that he's made for them, and they call him Brother Smith. That's kind of his nickname around the locals. And you also find out that he is the brother of Dag Blackhammer, who is the brewmeister at the Blackhammer Brewery. They're related. He's recently married to Helga. So you gain a little bit of information. He shares just a little bit, and Helga brings in some food at some point. But you watch her, and she appears to be, of the two, more skilled working blades. So she seems to be more of a weaponer, and he's more of a classic smith.
Okay.
So
something I would try to find out, like in bits of discussion, is why he left wherever they were from originally and settled here, and he and his brother, that's what my family did, also leaving the mountain and going on. So I'd kind of be interested in knowing. Yeah,
he's from the Lort Mills, and he and his brother came here to basically make coin. Like, there was an opportunity after the fall of the right around the fall of the temple, and they were there to make money, perhaps as sellswords, but then saw an opportunity and decided to stay. So you get the sense that he had been in some of the battles 10 years ago.
Okay, and finally, I would just kind of try to get a sense from him of what he feels is going on, if there's something happening, if there's strange happenings, if things are different, if, like just to kind of, not to probe, but just to kind of get a sense if he feels that things are not quite as they used to be, or if, what he might think might be problematic.
Well, time is funny for dwarves because, 10 years is like nothing, but he's been doing more work for Kenter Nevitz in the militia lately. He's been doing more weaponry work within the last couple of weeks. That's picked up. Business has been pretty good. His wife has been busy working sword blades, axe blades. So, take that for whatever it's worth.
Okay. So look, I'll spend maybe like 2 days there, but at some point I want to do a few other things. And also I think I'm probably going to be pretty sore after a couple of days of this, having not done it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll put in 2 good days, and I'll tell them that, me and my friends have a couple other things to do, but, if he's okay with it, maybe I'll stop by again and throw down. And if ever they need anything, there's anything we can do for them, that we'd be more than happy to, or at least I would, but I think my friends would also be happy to help out. So while I'm there, I'll also try to give my weapons a good once over. And the second day, I'll tell the other guys to come by also, and the rest of the group, and I'll kind of go over their weapons, like during my lunch break or whatever. I'll go over their weapons and resharpen everything and just sort of tip-top everything.
Okay. That sounds great. Yeah, he's appreciative. You seem to have made a friend of sorts, and you part amicably as you head back to do other things that you want to do. We'll come back to you because I know there's some other stuff you want to do, and we'll jump over to Xanthe.
Oh, okay. Xanthe's got a bunch of stuff that she wants to do.
Okay.
Over the 4 days, she's going to slowly identify items that she found.
All right, what do you have again?
I have a magical dagger. I have a bone ring, a skull, and a small clay urn. So I think what I'll do is on the following day, because I can do one item before I go to sleep tonight.
Sure.
But then the following day, I'll cast Detect Magic again and just make sure if anything's magical. And if it is, then I'll begin identifying it over the next several days.
The only thing that is magical is the dagger.
Okay.
Yep. And you cast Identify on it, and you learn that it is a blade that grants advantage when you use it in combat. In the terms of the game mechanics, it's a +1 dagger. The urn you look at, and you open it up at some point. You look inside, and there's a little bit of dust in the bottom of it. You kind of shake it a little bit. It's not full. It's very empty, but there's some dust in the bottom, and you get the sense that maybe someone's ashes were in here at some point. It looks like a burial urn. The ring is a bone ring that's kind of gross looking, and it looks nasty, but it's not magical. It's just a bone ring.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any inscription or anything on the bone ring?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
They appear to be, you're not, well, do you have medicine, proficiency in medicine? I don't remember seeing that, but maybe you do.
Not proficient, no.
Yeah, you get the sense that they're delicate bones, so that's about as much as you can tell. They're very delicate looking bones, whether they're humanoid or demi-human or some other creature, you're not sure.
Okay. All right. So just a bunch of really weird, obscure kind of stuff in that one dagger.
The skull looks to be some sort of a beast. It's not human. It's not halfling. Again, you're not sure, but it looks like maybe it's some sort of maybe a primate of some kind.
Okay, so not humanoid.
Mm-mm.
Okay. What about the 14 gray opaque gemstones? Was I able to
They're
find
not
out?
magical.
Okay. All right.
You could maybe ask around to see if you can figure out what they are. Probably the most likely place would be. What are your thoughts? Where would you want to look for information?
Go to the D&G Mercantile.
That's what I was going to say.
And bring the extra weapons and the stones. Actually, just take out one stone and ask him what it is. And not necessarily like offer to sell it, but trying to identify it.
Sure. So you make your way over there and you remember the two men who run the shop, one of them being kind of short and a little bit fatter, kind of placid looking. The other one, this kind of tall, thin man with sharp features. The shorter one is Ranos Davil, and the tall one is Gramang Goslin. And Gramang is not there, but Ranos Davil sees you come in and bids you approach. How can we help you today, dear?
Oh, so I wanted to know if you know anything about gemstones.
A bit, yes.
I was trying to find out what kind of gemstone this is. And she'll take out just one and put it on the counter.
That's interesting. He picks it up and he pulls out this little magnifying eyepiece and looks at it. Oh yes, this is a. I can tell by the dark opaque gray, milky coloration. Yes, this is a bloodstone, dear. Where did you find this?
I travel a lot, so I picked it up on the way.
Did you find it on the knolls?
Possibly. There were knolls around.
Yes, I heard all about the farmhouse and the knolls. Yes, this is I would say the cut, and it's not very finely done, but it is worth I would have to say are you looking to sell it?
No, it's kind of a memento.
Hands it back to you.
I could turn it into something nice if I wanted to.
Oh yes, very nice.
But is bloodstone bad or poisonous or?
Oh no, dear. It's just a nice stone with a creepy name.
Oh, okay.
You could probably fetch 5 gold pieces for that particular stone.
All right. Well, that is very good to know. And then I have all of this, and she just dumps out a bunch of daggers and short swords. And if anybody had wanted to let me take their short swords and daggers, I'll just have a bag full of them.
Okay. Yeah, and we can settle up,
Sure.
off stream, so we don't need to go through all that stuff. Let's see. Is there anything else that you would want to do there with the? He kind of talks to you a little bit while he's going through the weapons, and he kind of asks you about what happened. He's kind of excited to hear because you guys had come in before you went. You bought the tents. How did the tent work out for you then, dear?
The gnolls destroyed it,
Oh.
but we were able to, salvage pieces of several of them, and we still have one working tent. But yeah, they're not gnoll-proof.
I guess not. Well, it sounds like you got the best of those gnolls anyways, didn't you?
It was close, but we did win. We're still here. Also, I did want to see, do you have any healing potions?
Healing potions, I'm afraid we don't carry. We could possibly put an order in.
I think that would be a wonderful idea. We would be interested, I think.
Very good. I will put in a word with our distributor out of Verbo City, and I'll let you know if we get any. And you can tell your friend, the dwarven fellow, that his gemstone has not arrived yet.
Oh, all right. Sounds
The
good.
Azurite.
Azurite.
That's all right.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah, I'll let them know.
It's a little mercantile humor.
All right. I think that is everything I wanted to do here. So, all right. Have a good day.
Toodaloo.
I will then split up those bloodstones among the team. We got, I believe there were 16 bloodstones, so we can do that with
14.
14. Okay, and we'll do that with divvying up stuff later.
Okay. All right. We'll come back to you for more if you want. You just let me know, and we'll bounce over to Desmond.
Aha, yes. All right. Des is just kind of sitting in his room thinking about how not to be old anymore. He's smoking his pipe and he's staring at this skull that he took from the farm.
Is
You
off
hear
one of
on your
those
door.
bandits?
Ting, 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 ting. Des, you want to come out and hang out with us?
I'll be out in a minute.
Okay.
And I'll start to get ready. And I'm still just kind of staring at the skull. Right. Yeah. I think that's right. Let's do it. All right. And I'm going to walk out of the room now that I'm fully dressed, and I'm just going to leave the skull there next to my bed on the side table. All right. Where's Spugnoir? I need to find Spugnoir. So I'm going to go down to the common area in the inn and just look around and see if I can find him.
Yeah, you can find him eventually. Perhaps outside, like walking around. But you have an opportunity to meet him for sure.
Great.
Yep. Hello.
Hey there. How you doing?
Good. How can I help you? Is there an adventure afoot? Do you need a...
Maybe. I think
Oh.
so. You and I are going to work on a problem together.
Okay, I like what I'm hearing.
I'm going to help you find your book.
I very much like this, yes.
What I would like in return
Hmm?
is maybe share a little bit of the magic with your friend Des in return.
Oh. You'd like to learn some magical theory and...
I've read some,
Yes.
over the years. I know I don't look it, but I've read a lot, and I think I could do it.
Well, I mean, it takes practice and dedication
Right.
and some
Right.
study. But,
Right.
I mean, magical theory, the theory of the weave and harnessing the energy of the weave, of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
theories. Okay.
Yeah. We could work on that. Absolutely. When would you like to begin?
Let's do it right now.
Right now.
Yeah. I want you to take me to the last place you saw your book.
Okay.
Where were you? Tell me about this day that you lost your book.
Well, I woke up that morning and I was hungry for something robust. I remember waking thinking this is going to be a great day. And, well, I went into the tavern and Oslo was there and they had some interesting porridge on with berries and and he just kind of goes into
Right.
like this long story about about the day and kind of gives you a feeling of where he might have lost it. Perhaps he's retracing his steps.
Were you staying in the common sleeping area?
Yes. I was in the dormitory. I was getting ready to head out with the group of individuals that I had come into town with. We were staying for just a couple of nights, and lo and behold, my book was missing. And then.
So the last time you saw it was when you left your room that morning, the common room.
I must have forgotten. I never go anywhere without the book. I must have forgotten for some reason. The night previous, we had been doing a bit of carousing.
Carousing.
I don't drink much, and well, we were celebrating, and the next
Here in the
morning,
inn?
yes.
Do you remember who you're carousing with?
Well, the individuals that I came into town with, and pretty much the entire tavern was lively. There was
Who'd you come into town
a
with?
minstrel playing that night. Two individuals playing. A half elf. I don't recall the name, and a goblin fellow. Very strange, but a very good lute player. Turns out. They came down from
fellow.
Verbo City.
From Verbo.
Are you familiar?
I've been.
That was the
Interesting.
last time. I must have forgotten it in my room. I think it was stolen. But I could have misplaced it. I was a bit tipsy.
Have you searched that room?
Oh, yes. Multiple times.
Who else was staying in that room with you? In the common room? Do you remember?
I don't know. You can see he's kind of struggling. He rattles around, trying to remember. You get the sense like this is going to take some work.
Okay.
You know, like you don't get the sense that you're going to be like, I know where it is. Like it's right there. But let's go this route. What are your, as the two of you sort of work together, your intention is to help him. And then over the course of these 4 days, also, ...
Also, I guess I didn't think of it much beyond helping him. Des will, he's meditating a lot on, his predicament. He knows he's cursed. So it's kind of just like consuming him a little bit. Yeah, he thinks he's cursed.
In his head, he might know it. Yeah.
So he wants to sort of figure out how to do that. So I think, also with that, he might want to go back to the church.
Okay.
And ask some questions of the guy that they weren't able to talk to before.
Okay. Canon Teron.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you'll seek an audience with him.
Yeah.
Okay, so you give me an investigation check.
All right. Yeah, my idea is kind of just Des has stolen a lot of things in the past.
Sure.
The rest of the party might not know that, but so his idea is to kind of figure out what he would have done to steal this guy's book and kind of piece it together, I guess.
Okay. All right. I like it.
I'm going to use my advantage from the chat earlier. Thank you very much.
Yay, chat. Appreciate you guys.
I'm glad I did. Investigation. All right, that's a 20.
A 20, dirty 20. Okay, so you don't find the spell book. However, you do begin to sort of hone in on a couple of things. One, you're pretty sure that it was stolen. You're pretty sure that it was the night that he was drinking. He had traveled into town with a group of adventurers. Named the Fortunes 4, and they left Spugnoir in town when they departed because he was not ready to leave, and they were. So they left without him. There was the minstrels. You are able to get the name of the minstrels, and they were called the Rebel Hearts. And they're quite good, and actually they're fairly well known.
These names are so familiar.
Yep, they are very familiar, especially to Desmond as he's putting these pieces together. And you're not sure exactly what where they might have gone. The book might have gone, but you're pretty sure it's been stolen, and you're kind of piecing things together. And it could have been either one of those groups. Seems like you get the sense that Spug might have been a little bit out of his element with this adventuring group. They sound like they're kind of bad guys. You know, they're pretty tough. So anyways, that's what you gather. When you go to the church, you talk to Sister Calmer, and she she greets you, and she's not terribly excited to see you back, but
I come there and return her robe.
Oh, so she is excited. She's happy to see the robe. Was it cleaned? Yeah. Was it laundered?
Yeah, I had it cleaned.
All right. So you had it cleaned. Very nice. Do you make an offering to the church?
Yeah, this time I'm just going to give some silver.
She kind of looks at you as you do that. Times are tough, I see. Tough for all of us. You can't imagine what it takes to keep this place so clean and holy. You seek a audience with the canon?
I'll slide another gold into the pot.
He does have a very tight schedule, but I could see if I can call upon him for you.
If you could. I think it's really important.
As a faithful adherent to the Church of St. Cuthbert, I will lobby on your behalf.
I'd really appreciate that.
So with the laundering and then making an offer, you do take an audience with this man. He's fairly younger than you had anticipated. He has some level of disinterest in you, but it appears as though Sister Kelmer has really sort of encouraged him to take a few moments to speak with you. And he kind of he does the whole thing where he's yes, my child, he does that whole thing. And what are you looking to in this interaction? What are you looking to gather?
First, if he's ever heard of what has happened to me before.
Okay.
So I want to find out if he's familiar with the undead and ghosts and their potential ability to do what it did to me. And then kind of figure out if he knows of a way to resolve it.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know.
Okay. He is very much wearing the full robes of the holiest of holies, and he's doing the whole thing. But he tells you that he believes that you are cursed, perhaps by wicked deeds. He suggests that perhaps things in your past have caught up with you, and that by living adherence to the teachings of Cuthbert, St. Cuthbert, living by the rule of law, by cleansing your soul through active participation in the church and active patronage of the church, that he believes that you could seek some sort of spiritual healing. So basically he's implying that if you live a holy life, live a good life, make regular alms, donate money to the church, essentially, that you may find what you're looking for. He does know that there are powerful clerics that have divine inspiration and can oftentimes work magic on behalf of their gods. And you find out from his conversations that he's the acting canon of this particular church. There is the regular canoness Yade, who is apparently off on a separate mission on behalf of St. Cuthbert and the church, and that he is acting as the head of the flock, so to speak, here in Hommlet. he's not like super friendly. He's kind of stern. He's very short with his answers, but he does give you some advice about living the holy life and making regular offerings to the church, and through that level of piousness that you may find a cure to your affliction.
All right. Well, I thank you for your time. I'll be around.
He nods and kind of turns and leaves. And Sister Calmer comes in and she's like, okay, very good. You've had your word with him. I hope that helped.
Yeah, it helped a little. He mentioned that there are servants of St. Cuthbert that are sort of like adventurers.
Yes, indeed. Champions of the faith, of course.
Right. Have any of those people been around Hommlet lately?
Oh, yes,
by
we
any
have.
chance?
We often have clerics, visiting clerics and adventurers who are quite religious stop in to make an offering to the church and speak of their deeds, to, in a way, atone for some of the necessary actions that they take in their line of duty of spreading the words of St. Cuthbert and converting the unbelievers, bringing more holy souls to the church.
Have you ever heard of them removing curses before?
Well, yes, powerful clerics have been said to have the ability to call upon St. Cuthbert to do just that. But only for the most worthy should Cuthbert be spoken to in that direct line. But it is possible. If you're searching for answers, 1 second, and she reaches, she comes back. She's got this little pamphlet that she gives you, and you look on the It's actually like a short book, and you look at it, and it says St. Cuthbert and Common Sense is the title, and you look through it, and it's just a very sort of just a straight, and there's no like pictures or there's nothing super fancy about it. It's just a short book, about 30 pages long. The writing. You're literate. Des is literate, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it explains the tenets of St. Cuthbert's faith, and the essentials: obeying the law, being good, using common sense is like really a big deal. So, and then it talks about those who fail to live up to St. Cuthbert's virtues. Are advised to return to the church for support and guidance, and so you kind of get the sense that that's what what she's talking about with these adventurers coming back for guidance and sort of to course correct after they've gone off and done these deeds in the name of Cuthbert, but oftentimes called to do things that may be on the edge of legality, but make sense. Common sense prevails. So she gives you. She's keep this. If you have questions. You are more than welcome to come back, and we can speak of the teachings of St. Cuthbert. I know we all have much to learn.
Right. Okay. Thank you for your time. And Des will just take the pamphlet and walk out.
Okay.
While this was going on, Xanthe will be just wandering up and down the headstones like next to the church, and she's gonna read them, and she's actually kind of hanging out, but she's gonna look for the name Adelar.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Eight.
You do not see any of the headstones that you investigate that have Adelar as the surname.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
Okay.
Just thought I would check.
All right. So everybody hold that thought. We're going to go over to Norb. Norb, talk to me, buddy.
All right. The first thing Norb's going to do is he's going to go to Burns Castle and he's going to find that foreman guy and be like, "Hey, you said I could work. I got some downtime right now. I thought I'd pull some shifts. I can work doubles, whatever you need. Just tell me what you need. Where can I go?"
Yeah, he's happy to see you. He remembers who you are. You're the big dude who carried rocks around when he visited. And so, yeah, he has no problem putting you to work. You could work for 1 or up to 4 of the days if you want. And they pay 1 gold per day.
I'm going to negotiate that.
Okay.
If I'm doing the work of 3 guys, and if I'm working longer than them, can I make more than that?
Okay. Do you propose an amount? Or just the idea?
I would like him to consider it.
Okay.
And I will make my decision after day 1.
Okay.
Whether or not I think it's worth it,
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. So you have this conversation. You're like, "Look, I'm going to work, and you just see what I can do." So give me a persuasion check.
Got a 16 persuasion.
Yeah, and then give me an athletics check.
I'm going to burn an advantage for this one.
Sizzling hot.
A 23 on the athletics.
Ooh, wow. So I imagine that you walk over to like these rocks that need to be moved, and you like take your shirt off, kind of put it over to the side, maybe folding it ever so slightly, setting it off, and just huge, just jacked. All the other workers kind of stop for a minute and look over, and you just get to work. And with that athletics check, you easily do the job of 3 men. And everybody really likes you. Like they're all like thinking that you're pretty awesome. And some of them you can see they start to sort of like do a little bit less work as you're kind of doing a lot of the, getting a lot of the work done for them. And they really like you, they're like getting you water and stuff. And like,
nice.
Yeah. You make some friends.
While I'm doing all this work, and I know it's mostly moving rock right now, I'm also going to be kind of scoping out the castle. Like, what's the structure? How is it being laid out?
Okay.
Where do they plan on, putting, main outbuildings? Where's the portcullis going to go? How are they going to lay out the walls? Are they doing like a bardican or anything like that?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me a perception check for that kind of stuff.
21 on the perception.
Wow. Okay. So a couple of things. Yeah, you can tell based on sort of conversations and your observation of the way that the foundation is being laid out and put together, that it is going to be a very formidable structure. Not terribly big, but you get the sense that it's been well thought out and well placed on the hillside. So they don't tell you like all of the details of the construction. You don't find the plans, for example, but you get the sense from talking with the foreman and some of the other more knowledgeable workers that this place is going to be, once it's finished, it's going to be pretty defensible and quite a work of construction. It's being fully funded by the Viscount of Verbabank. And you also learn that Byrne is not in town. Byrne is out of town and has been gone for over a day. Nobody's quite sure where he is. Probably Rufus knows. Rufus is his partner. You learn of this guy named Rufus, who is a pretty formidable, it sounds like, fighter, and someone who came to town with Byrne. So a lot of people speak of them as Rufus and Burn, kind of combo. You haven't met Rufus, and you don't see him during that time, but you hear a little bit of the stories, perhaps. So at the end of the day, you meet up with the foreman, and he instead of paying you 1 gold, he gives you 3 gold, and he says,
Sweet.
if that's enough of a motivation for you, come on back tomorrow.
No. Yeah. I think I'll come back the next day. If only to hear more stories, do more research, work another day, obviously. At the end of the day, it's been a long day, obviously, so I'm pretty beat up, but I'm still kind of feeling a little downtrodden from my misadventures, my emotional outbursts. So I'm gonna kind of walk to the edge of town, sit down among maybe some trees or some tall grass, and kind of do some like deep breathing exercises, some pondering, some peaceful, try and stay calm. And then I'm gonna go ape shit, rage out, and start beating the crap out of the ground for a little bit.
Okay. Just kind of working out some anger issues, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of working out like, I'm useless. He's like feeling like I'm useless. I let my emotions get the best of me. I feel bad about it. I hate being worthless. I feel bad about it. I'm horrible.
Yeah, meditation is hard.
Yeah. So he's having a day, and so he's kind of using his the music surprised me.
It's a beautiful day, and there's just this kind of shouting from the edge of town.
Yeah. Hopefully nobody's around to see me doing this, but yeah. So he's like trying to like come to an inner peace and an understanding of how he's feeling. And trying to work off his aggression.
Between the physical labor and the sort of inner rage that you experience, you start to feel by the end of the first day pretty worn out. You like maybe even a sense of relaxation, but you've definitely, Norb's got some things to deal with, somehow.
Right.
All right. So hold that thought as that all goes down. And you can make a decision on whether or not you work for that guy the rest of the week or not, or if there's other stuff you want to do. We're going to come around one more time here. Lachlan, was there anything else that you wanted to accomplish during this time?
Yeah. I wanted to go to the store, but I got my answer now, so that's good. I wouldn't mind going to the church to have a chat, but to be honest, I think maybe it's something that I'm gonna wait a little bit and sort of keep under my hat. I'm afraid it's gonna be a little bit maybe too in depth. So otherwise, I think I would certainly find time at some point to go out, one of the mornings earlier, especially if there's a day where it looks like it's maybe going to rain or something. But even if there's not, sort of go out into outside town just a little bit and spend some time just, I don't want to say the word praying, but basically that the Stormcrow, and sort of again just trying to wrap my head around what happened and the near death thing, and kind of thanking Stormcrow for keeping me and my friends alive, and sort of just spending some time in what I do that would be considered praying.
Okay. Yeah, you do your thing. You commune. Is there anything like specific that you want to accomplish, or is it more of just the act of doing it that's important?
I think sort of like Norb, I felt a little useless. Like I was kind of used to, in the past few fights that we had, kind of being the guy that, could stand his ground and keep everybody safe, and depending a little bit on the Stormcrow to help me do that. And this last fight, when I fell and all that, I kind of realized that maybe I was getting a little too full of myself, or maybe a little too proud with my abilities and my relationships. So just sort of asking him to grant me some wisdom about how to to be better at this, this task of protecting the people I'm with and all that, and making sure I don't go down that road of becoming too proud of my skills or sort of what I do, and perhaps kind of I don't want to say like asking how I might go about so the way to frame it would be how I might go about developing my abilities and what I do in combat when I protect my friends to be more in line with what I imagine the Stormcrow wants or sort of operates as, like feeling like maybe the reason why I wasn't as effective last time was because I didn't follow the flow as I would normally have had, and sort of just trying to understand how best to emulate the storm and how best to emulate that power that he has to do what I want to do better, basically, and not fail again.
Okay. Is this sort of an internal monologue that you're having, or do you speak any of this out loud?
Yeah, I think I speak out loud for sure.
Okay.
He's not someone that's used to praying or anything like that. So to him, he's just going in conversation. The fact that he's outside, to him, that's where Stormcrow is, right? Like the storm can come anywhere, anytime. So he would like be talking up to the sky and to the clouds, and especially if he sees crows or a storm cloud or anything like that, he would be addressing that sort of directly and not really feeling any self-consciousness about it. Like, to him, it's such a tangible presence in his life that he would feel like the wind would carry his words to the Stormcrow.
Roll a religion check. Why not?
Why not?
When was the last time you rolled a religion check?
I'm thinking I probably never have. I'm not actually that good in it. I'm not well versed in religion.
You can use an advantage if you want.
Oddly enough, I could. Let me do that. I'm the priest who doesn't speak religion. Okay,
right.
So I got 15 and is the highest, and that's a +2, I think, for my religion. Yeah.
17, that's pretty good. Yeah. So you say these things out loud and you're kind of speaking, and as you do, you sort of look up and you can see that there is a crow flying across, just soaring, kind of gliding down, and it sort of like turns and kind of comes close to you. Kind of does this little bit of a flyby and then flies up and lands on a tree nearby, and it gives you a sense of acknowledgement almost, for what it's worth. And then you look down at your feet and you see these flowers start to sprout unnaturally quickly from the ground around you. Some yellow and red and purple flowers, and they almost like those those time lapse videos of a bud coming, a sprout coming out, and then it's almost like that, and these flowers blossom within seconds at your feet.
It's very impressive. I'm quite amazed. I will kneel down next to them and sort of touch them gently, not wanting to damage them or sort of hurt them. Do they look like normal flowers? Do they look like anything special?
To you, they look like just normal flowers. And as you're examining them, you just hear this and you look up and you can see Drew Ashstaff just kind of walking out past you as he's making his way. And he just kind of disappears down the hillside.
I'm just hoping that he wasn't fertilizing the place.
You look around and you don't see any piles, luckily. But you do look back up and the crow is gone.
Okay. I will sit there for a bit and ponder these flowers and ponder what I just saw and sort of wonder, if it was just old Drew playing a prank on me, because this seems like the kind of thing that he would do. But I'll try to sort of, unwrap the mystery of this enigma, what it could possibly mean, if it is in fact a message from higher up, or if it's just a prank from good old Drew Ashton.
which could also be a message from higher up. You never know these things.
You never know
The gods work in mysterious ways.
I know enough to know I don't know anything.
Yeah. All right. Is
So
there anything
I'll
else?
sit there for a while and ponder.
Yeah, you ponder. You get a sense of progress in your thoughts.
Cool. Well, then, happy with my day and my communion with nature and with Stormcrawl. I'll return to the inn and feeling good, and just go for a good meal and good evening and by the fire, and just kind of letting the rest of all the stress and everything kind of go away, and be ready the next day to rock and roll.
All right. So you've completed your downtime, or was there anything else you want to do? Okay. Let's jump over to Ashley. Ashley, is there anything else that you want to complete in these 4 days? You've done some snooping around, some digging in the graveyard for some information. You've identified a bunch of stuff. You've sold some things. Is there anything else that you want to accomplish?
Yeah, she's going to do a multiple page spread in her journal about the adventure we just had. So the giant spider, the horrific ghost, the murder pig, the gnolls, and a picture of Des aged 20 years are going in that book.
Nice.
With like little notes about the adventure, like this is what happened, and then we did this.
This is turning out to be the best journal ever. And you're super proud of it. You take enough time where you're not going to need to roll. You take your time on it, and it looks really, really. The depictions of the creatures are both scary and comical, and you do a very nice job. I when you put it that way with all the creatures that you encountered, it sounds super ridiculous. This is Dungeons and Dragons.
It was one day.
Yeah, that was. Oof. You got to find a new DM. All right, so anything else that you want to accomplish, or are you good? You're good with your downtime?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay, let's bounce over to Desmond. Desmond, is there anything else that you want to accomplish? You have sought some guidance from the church. You have been given some advice. You have worked with good old Spugnoir on trying to unravel the mystery of his missing spellbook, and you have made some progress on it. You have a couple hunches based on the information you've gathered.
That the day that Des goes to the church and talks to the priest, he's gonna, before he leaves, he's gonna look around the grounds for the woman that works for the church.
Okay.
Was it Melda?
Yeah, Melda.
All right.
Yeah, you find her, no problem. She's there almost every day, and she sees you coming, but she sort of like she kind of looks away, and she's working. She's in the nave, like tidying up and dusting and.
I'm just gonna. Des will just go up to her. So, did you know him then? Jonathan?
I was told not to speak of it.
It's all right. I won't tell anyone.
You're not him. You're not him. No, of course not. Yes, of course. I did know him.
Did you know his family?
A bit. Yes, a bit. The two boys I'd met a few times. His wife.
You knew his mom? I mean, you knew his wife?
Just a little bit. Jonathan had made some donations to the church, and he was troubled, but a good man. He was kind to me.
How was he troubled? Just curious.
Well, he had a rough time after the the battle, the Emerald Meadows. Never fully recovered from what he saw there, and never spoke of it. But you could tell he was different. Many of us were. Many of the fighters that came home were changed.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
You must be related. I mean, the resemblance is uncanny. Are you a brother or a cousin or?
My name's Desmond.
You see her eyes just kind of. Desmond.
Yeah.
My goodness. Desmond. She just reaches up and gives you a big hug.
He's just gonna be like, but you know, he's, so you haven't seen him for a long time then?
I'm afraid not, Desmond. Your father, well, after your mother died, he left, and perhaps going after your brother, I don't know. There's so much. You've been gone for a long time, Desmond.
Yeah. If you don't mind, could we just keep this between you and I?
Of course.
I don't want all the attention, I guess.
It's not mine to give. Of course. I won't say a thing.
So you haven't seen my mom in a long time either, huh?
No, she passed,
Oh, that's right. Jeez.
maybe 3 years ago.
Right. Right.
I wish I
Jack?
could tell you more.
You don't know where Jack is?
Jack was trying to make a bit of a name for himself as an adventurer, but I think he got into some. Well, maybe got mixed up with the wrong people. He had made some trips to Norb. Well, you know what goes on there. It's a horrible place. But I can't say what happened to Jack. He was a good boy. Just maybe mixed up with the wrong people.
Right. Right.
Desmond. She gives you another hug. You can come back and talk with me anytime. If you need to or want to.
I might do that.
You should.
I gotta go. I gotta go now. I'll talk to you later, okay?
Okay. She just watches you leave.
Des will just he'll just wander back pretty slowly. He'll wander back to the inn and just like go straight to his room and just like go to bed.
Okay. Anything else that he would want to address in the 4 days or?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't think of anything right now.
Yeah, I mean, he got a lot done for sure.
Yeah,
all
other
right.
than just practical stuff. Yeah.
Yep. We'll go back to Norb. Norb, is there anything else would you go back and work a couple more days at the job site?
You know, I think I would work a couple more days to see if Byrne shows up so that I could, pop in, have a quick chat with him about maybe getting access. Because, I mean, he seems like a pretty connected guy to maybe any books or any stories he's willing to tell me. Maybe the dragon story, maybe some blueprints, maybe a promotion. And then also to turn in, basically to say, hey, we went to the east, we found a bunch of gnolls. They seemed pretty organized. They mentioned this Mel guy. They had human captors. They were looking for a treasure in a lake. We dealt with an abandoned farmstead.
Okay. So, Byrne is not available. He's not there. He's gone. He's not even in town, but you do have an opportunity to meet Rufus, his like partner basically in this endeavor. He is a extremely fit, tall. He's not hulking like you are, but he is a true warrior with a hell of a jawline, as evidenced by this image that I'm showing to the stream right now. And he meets with you. Sounds like you're interested in speaking with Byrne. Perhaps, the foreman said you're a good worker. Thought I'd check in with you. The name's Rufus. I kind of run this place with Byrne. Says you had some questions about a few things. Do you fill him in on all the details that you just talked about?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
I'll just go into as much detail.
Yes, you're with the group that was sent out to the abandoned farmhouse. Took care of the gnoll business. We sent a small scouting party back out there yesterday, and they found exactly what you all reported. They found the dead gnolls partially buried. They found the farmhouse, the chest cracked open. Everything worked out. You did good work out there. We also found something quite interesting, a shield. A shield that might have been overlooked. It was in the loft of the house beneath some refuse, but it had the eye, a symbol of the eye, a flaming eye, which is quite troubling, and we've got some of our men working on it right now, but, well, it harkens back to a more difficult time in the history of the region, if you know what I mean. He kind of looks at you to see if you understand what he's talking about.
I heard some troubles with this. It's kind of why I came here.
Yes, well...
I think I'm 10 years late, but...
That may be true, but perhaps there could be work yet to be done. What's the name again?
Norb Nhyre.
Yes, and
I came from the Wild Coast. I spent some time studying there, and now I'm here. And I'm not a dumb guy. I'm pretty smart, and I'm a hard worker. If you wanted to, keep me around, I work really hard, and I'm pretty smart.
You're not implying that you seek to join up with the badges?
I'm not ready to commit to something that intense. I understand when you join a group of such renown, there are expectations, and I don't know how long I'll be in town, but I do think as a independent contractor, I could really benefit the Badgers with my friends.
Yes, you're the one with the group. You did good work out there with the gnolls. What's the name of the group? Do you have a team name?
We've played with some names. We haven't committed to any yet.
Hear me out. I'll just make a suggestion. Hear me out. Rufus's Ravens. Just let it simmer. Let it simmer. No, don't say no. He puts his finger up to your lips. No, don't. Just think about it.
Oh, Rufus.
Nope, that's good enough.
That's right a phenomenal name. What about the Arminettes?
It doesn't ring a bell.
It's not happening yet, but it's up for debate.
it is. I mean, it's your team. All right, well, very good. Nice work, all that good stuff. You know how to carry rocks. You're a smart fellow, and you kill gnolls. I like you. So whatever we need to do, we'll have work for you and your team. The
Cool.
Armanet's Rufus's ravens, which I think is pretty cool. You know, Burns got his badgers. I mean, it seems like Rufus should have his ravens. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No, I totally agree. I was wondering why. I mean, I think it sounds better that way. Rufus's ravens. It's got that stoic quality. It sounds free. It sounds vicious, you know, and powerful. So powerful.
A little metal, you know.
Yeah, super.
Edgy.
Yeah. I mean, I think that name would travel all the way to the free city of Greyhawk.
Well, we could only hope.
Stand right next to the others. The many famous. I mean, I think it'd stand near the top. Let's be honest. It's the best name. But anyways, yeah, we got sent out. We did the job. We came back. Here we are. We got paid up front 10 gold. I don't know if there was another fee. If this was I don't know all that stuff. I'm gonna leave all that for the dwarf guy in my group.
He's not really paying attention to you anymore. He's kind of listen, Norm. Come back tomorrow. We'll have some work for you. Sounds good? Okay. All right. Looks good out here, boys. Keep up the good work. And he kind of puts his chest out a little bit, kind of pompous, and he walks back up into the keep, into the tower, disappears.
All right. Well,
is there anything else that you would like to accomplish before the 4 days of downtime have come to an end, my friend?
No.
Okay. All right, so you return to the inn, the four of you, after, it's the evening of that fourth day. You're sort of like filling each other in on things that you've done and what you've accomplished. You've sort of divvied up the loot, and you've gotten paid for the things, and you've paid your debts, and you've gathered some information. You've made some contacts and possibly made some friends. And it's a nice evening. You're at the inn. You're drinking, ale and having a meal, and you get a sense, and that sense leads to an interruption in your meal as you hear a scream from outside the inn. The flicker of the candles and the lanterns inside the inn sort of illuminating the space. Everybody sort of like stops, they drop. It just goes silent in the tavern. You hear another scream from outside.
Dizzle bolt upright.
Yeah, we're charging out.
Norb, you run to the door and you open the door, you and Desmond and whoever else follows, and you look outside. It's dark outside. You look down to the left and you see that there are two bodies laying motionless in a pools of blood on the left. There's one on the right. There's a guard who is one of the militiamen who's like out of breath and is down. He's like trying to like revive the people. And at that moment you look out into the darkness and you see something race past in the shadows. And you're unsure what it is. And you see another form race past. And then you see this man running, and he's running towards the inn, and these arrows come from out of nowhere and hit him in the back, and he lands right on the steps of the inn. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh.
That's fucked up.
Welcome back to reality, folks, because here we go.
There goes gravity.
It has come home to roost.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate you for joining us. The Armanets is a fantastic suggestion. I can't imagine who came up with that one. Quite nice. It's got a great ring to it, and I'm sure it will be thrown into the list, the ever-growing list, which has been great because I just pilfered two great names out of it.
I know.
And then I should probably say dibs. But no,
Those
I
were
appreciate
gang
you guys
names,
doing
Dave.
that. Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that's what they got used for.
I liked it.
Did you know I was doing that right away?
Well, after Fortune's 4, I was like, wait a second. And then
Like, I heard of those guys.
Yeah.
All right. Look, thank you so much. Everybody in the chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We really do appreciate you guys, the goofy banter and the funness and the supporting our players. We really appreciate it. So if you want to support the channel, don't hesitate to follow. If you're following, consider giving a subscription or a sub, Prime sub, whatever you want to do. Otherwise, just come and hang out with us. We have every Tuesday, Heroes of Greyhawk right here with this awesome group. Tomorrow night, we're going back to Nhyre to hang out with a bunch of really interesting characters played by some awesome people in a world created and run by Dungeon Mr. Ty. That's Nhyre. That's tomorrow night, 7 to 10 p.m. Central. And then you're not going to want to miss Thursday night's game, the finale of our first season of Shadesong with Bleak and a cast of awesome players who are going to tie it all together and probably leave us with more questions than they answer. I have no idea how it's going to go. I'm very excited to see that. That is Thursday night, 7 to 10 p.m. Central. And then, we'll just see where it goes from there. We've got some games that are coming up in the future. We've got our Monday. I always forget about this thing. We're doing the Vase and One Shot holiday special. So that's on Monday the 19th. So anyways, lots of stuff going on. If you want to get up to speed and get all the notifications, join us on Twitter. We're going to go ahead and follow some folks here. I'm going to try to find a target for our raid. And gosh, do we have any other announcements that I'm missing before we raid? I can't think of any, but
No, I think it's covered for this week.
okay. Let's go ahead and raid into Hero Club again. They're awesome. They do a great job. They've got some great RP going. Thank you everybody for hanging out with us. Really, really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We'll see you tomorrow night for Nhyre. Let's start this raid. Give them some Guild Superior love.
All the love.
yeah.
Later, guys.